I remember every time I watch like a documentary about VHS and like anytime people bring up the VHS copy of this movie, they always bring up how if you got it from a rental store, this section of the movie was always fucked up because like people were just
rewound it so much. Really?
Yeah, this is one of those movies.
That's funny.
Revival House Network.
And don't like the brags, I don't like the boast. They like hot butter on the breakfast toast. Watching flicks, talking chicks, I like to motorboat. Can Riverman make it yo a check? Nope. So look at all these movies I got. Commenting like, should we watch them or not? I know they just be acting for cash, but I still got one question to ask. Like, why'd he do that? Do that? Do that? If that was me, I'd be like, screw that, screw that, screw that. I'm an alpha, I'd eat through that, through that, through that. So why'd he do that, do that, do that?
All right, howdy everybody. Welcome to another episode of the BTM podcast / commentary. Zach and I are on a mission as of late. We are doing movies that we like. We are being selfish because Zach believes, and I am inclined to agree, that they produce better commentaries.
If you're not super passionate while you're talking about the thing you're doing the podcast for, should you even be doing the podcast? I kind of thought that. And this movie kind of resembles and echoes thoughts of like kind of those realizations in life that brings us into what
Case in point, Zach wanted to do a commentary all about incest because he's passionate about it. I'm like, well, I think that's a step too far. But let's start with coming of age comedies first, and then we'll work our way into fucking your mother.
Fucking amazing.
I just fucked up the monetization right there. We weren't 30 seconds in, and I said,
Exactly.
fuck your mother. Damn
fucking
it.
Low T idiot.
So we're going to try and...
I didn't mean to say idiot. What the fuck?
We're trying to... It's so funny. We couldn't make it. We're trying to dance around these algorithm bots because we just can't shake them, and I just fucked it up, man. I couldn't go 30 seconds without saying Zach fucks his mother or something.
Exactly.
Okay, but anyway, on the topic of doing movies that we love, we're doing the classic... Actually, it's always Zach's job to talk about what we're doing, so I don't want to steal his thunder. Tell him what we're doing. One of my favorite flicks.
We're doing Fast Times at Ridgemont High. You know what's funny? Is I always call this movie Fast Times, and just earlier when I was thinking like, what the fucking, I was telling Mac, I was seeing if he wanted to join us, and I was like, Fast Times at, what's the school's name again? Like fucking, I forgot. The movie's called Fast Times to me.
So many people just call it Fast Times though for short, so it works. But yeah, so let's go ahead. It's 1982. Is that the right year? 82? I think it's 82.
Maybe. Fucking, this is my personal Blu-ray I ripped that we were watching, and it doesn't have that on the label. So fucking,
I'm pretty sure it's. Go ahead and get the movie started. We're gonna try and stay on topic. I'm gonna get the flick pulled up. I'm pretty sure it's 82. Are you? Is it ready to go? And I'll do the countdown. Yep. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started, and we're going to take you back to 1982. It's official. I got it right here. In 3, 2, 1, play. She's gonna be somebody's only light.
Oh, beautiful.
Gonna shine tonight.
Look at that. Fucking those smoke rings. Somebody's blazing it.
So it's also worth noting that this is the debut from Cameron Crowe, I'm pretty sure. This is his... It's based on his book. Yeah, he wrote the screenplay, and it's based on the book Fast Times at Ridgemont High, a true story. So it's kind of loosely based on his life. I think, I'm not cheating on this. I think he almost did like a 21 Jump Street thing. Didn't he sort of go into a high school to do an article piece or write a book?
He did. He infiltrated and did it. And like... Yeah, like he knocked it out of the park at least 2 times. I think fucking this movie, Fast Times and Almost Famous are 10 out of 10 movies. Like they're up there. They're gonna be remembered, I think.
So no, he's got more than that though, in my opinion. Let me kind of go through his filmography.
Yeah, maybe he does.
Well, he did Say Anything, which is a classic. I mean, I think it's all right. I'm not in love with Say Anything, but a lot of people love it. He also directed Singles. He directed Jerry Maguire, which is one of the couple of Tom Cruise movies that I do really like. He did, Almost Famous, Vanilla Sky, He hasn't done a shit ton of shit, to be honest with you, but everything he's done has been kind of note. So this movie's
a total. How fucking and grab assy our boy Sean Penn was just getting with his shirt off with that little kid. Fucking that made me uncomfortable.
So more than any other movie, man, this is a time capsule, and there's something about it where you could take a movie like this, or you could take a movie like Dazed and Confused, or Everybody Wants Some, or whatever. And those movies are great time capsules too, but they weren't filmed in the era that they're depicting. They were period pieces. This one has a feeling of authenticity that you can't really beat because it was filmed in 1981, 82, or whatever, and it just oozes the era. This is my parents' high school era. And
I almost read that as directed by Amy Yazbek, and I was like, fucking John Ritter, he lucked out on so many he married a big fucking Stacy, which that is the main character's name in this movie, by the way. Fucking convenient. But he also she directed fucking Fast Time. What a Chad, but it was not Amy Yazbek.
No, this is Amy Heckerling, and she directed some other shit, some stuff you like, actually. She directed, European Vacation, which is the least best European Vacation movie.
Did she do Big with Tom Hanks?
No, I'll go through her filmography. It's not that big. She did Fast Times at Ridgemont High. This was her debut feature film. She did Johnny Dangerously. That's that Michael Keaton movie I've never seen. She did European Vacation. Not a huge fan. And she did all 3 Look Who's Talking movies. That was her next 3 movies.
Those are fucking exquisite works of art.
And she did them in succession. So she did Look Who's Talking 2, and then Look Who's Talking Now. Then maybe it's probably another peak for her. She did Clueless in 1995.
That's what we gotta do. We gotta fucking splice together the fucking scenes of them having sex in this movie. This very unsexy scene where they lose their virginity in this movie, and then cut it with fucking the scenes of the sperms and the eggs from Look Who's Talking. It would just the contrast. It would be hilarious.
Yeah, she did Clueless, and after that, she did Night at the Roxbury, and then she did a few movies after that. So I gotta say though, this is one of these movies where I think the entire flick, every line in it is insanely memorable. It's very quotable. There's no fat in this movie. Everything is classic. And I love all the characters. So they're taking the start of the movie to introduce us to all the characters that we're going to survey throughout the whole flick, because it's a coming of age drama / comedy. Not a stupid slapstick comedy, but a very realistic comedy as high school kids would probably, be involved with. So it's very natural. Like this guy, your phone number, this creep. This guy's in his mid-20s, and she lies and says she's 19, but she clearly just turned 14. Yeah, and I think, but she's not even in high school at this point. She might even be 13 technically at this point. Who knows? But yeah, this guy's a total creep. But this just shows you how different it was in the early 80s. I think less people gave a shit about statutory rape. I think it got a lot more passes back in the day. And nobody did a lot less questioning. And I think a lot of that comes down to the generation. Like these kids, their parents
like were now though. Fucking, there's still stigmas like fucking. Well, if it's a little boy and his teacher's a fucking hot chick, it's like we're still all fucked up with it.
No,
like,
but I just mean like I think the farther back you go, no shoes, no shirt, no dice. I think the farther back you go though, like the kids in this movie, their parents are from an era where. Their parents are from an era that was like Old Testament, where you still traded your youngest daughter for the best fucking milking cow or whatever. So
that's something we probably should bring back, actually. I'm just joking.
I'm just saying, like, maybe their parents come from an even older school generation where they are like 30 years older. Who knows? I just think it was a little bit more. Funny enough, it was more conservative, but it was more liberal in certain things, I think. So look at Spicoli, played by Sean Penn. He peaked, and the year after this, it might have been the same year. I think it was the same year, but it came out the year after he did Bad Boys. And he even looks the same. He's got the same hair and everything in that movie.
I literally am not saying this to be mean to Sean Penn, but like if you're a high school kid and you look like Sean Penn does in this movie, you are not just smoking weed. Like he is higher on some harder. He's doing fucking like black tar heroin to look like that in a fucking teenager's body.
There you go.
Fucking but it's amazing. That makes the movie even more endearing. But I love Sean. I'd suck Sean Penn's dick if he Sean
Penn, but he did a great job in the sense that this is what he played in coming out of the gate. I think this might have been his debut, but it's a very stereotyping type of role. You know what I mean? It's the kind of role where you think he could, because it was a really big part right out of the gate where it was very identifiable. You think he could easily get stuck in this, but he shook it off fast. Like I said, right after this, he came out with Bad Boys, which is a gritty youth prison drama type thing, which is a good movie too. It's got Isai Morales. And he never went back to this. He never did another comedy or type of movie like this ever again. Everything was always super serious.
Maybe he just doesn't like his. Maybe he had a trouble playing the kind of character, or he just doesn't like how he comes off in the movie. It's hard telling.
I think he should have auditioned to play Freddy Krueger with that nose.
Yeah, people always want to. They want to jump to the oh, it's because he's a pretentious fuck. It could be genuine reasons that just kind of come out of just every day. Because this movie it touches on so much of the mental shit you're going through when you're in high school, baby. They're at that point in time where they know okay, after this, I leave school and I gotta get a job, I gotta do shit. I guess this is time to buckle down. It's similar to what happens when you hit in your 30s. It's even if you already had a nice job and stuff, you still just kind of look at yourself and you're like, wow, I guess it's time to buckle down. It's weird.
I like that when he's cruising around the chicks. I'd make you see God.
Hell yeah.
Because it's funny because he's kind of this nerdy dude, but I think we all knew this guy. He was a senior in high school, and I think he felt an abundance more of confidence because you were a senior, but I don't know. He just sounds so corny. He probably doesn't even get laid, which, we're going to find out. His little sub arc is him and his girlfriend. He's a senior in high school now. He's going to be rehearsing what he's going to say to his girlfriend. Hey, look, I'm a man now. I think I think I should enjoy my senior year. We'll be going to college. He was trying to break up with her. And, he's a strong, independent man. He's got a high ranking job at his fast food joint. All this whole don't fuck with it. I like it. And yeah, you're going to see it's all going to go backwards for him because he's going to lose that job and then his girlfriend's going to dump him and it's going to be funny.
The whole kind of message of the movie is it's pointing out how when you're a kid, you can't wait to grow up. And then, you're so focused on all that stuff, your future that before you know it, it's over and it's you can't go back because he's all excited. She wants to lose her virginity and she goes through this whole arc where it's kind of the perfect guy that he existed, but he got that he got afraid at the last minute, and then his friend came in and swooped up and made this whole unnecessary thing that really was terrible happen, and then but then it's that could have just easily been the other guy. He was afraid to make the move, and it's there's so many good lessons in there. I'm very scatterbrained.
And I like how every single type of archetype, every sort of type of kid that could exist in a single high school is represented here. Obviously you have the stoner group, the heads, Spicoli and his buddies who are played by Anthony Edwards and Mask himself, Rocky Dennis, Eric Stoltz, who don't have any lines. And I wonder
Eric Stoltz, he's got a couple lines. Yeah, he what'd you get? And he's I got a cigarette.
You're right. Okay, sorry, my bad. He does. But Anthony Edwards. I wonder if he was getting diddled during this movie. Probably.
Yeah, he was sadly one of those guys that was preyed upon as a kid.
Right.
In the Hollywood shit. Yeah.
And this scene's classic where he's introduced to Mr. Hand's class. Mr. Hand's that asshole teacher. I think we all had that. But anyway, yeah.
But watching this movie as an adult, you realize Mr. Hands was kind of a Chad. Because Spicoli, he's at that point in his life, he's that guy that's he thinks he's gonna get around, he's gonna be a kid, what's that called, a man child, his entire life, and he's not taking the shit seriously. And then towards the end, he tries to really get it into him, he comes and makes him stay the night, instead of going.
But he doesn't make him. Yeah. He just does a couple of hours. He's well, I think I've made my point, And then you get the sense that he's he walks away from Spicoli, he's a good kid, but he's just he has a trouble prioritize. That was always my problem too in school. It's that's my card.
Yeah,
I knew that, dude.
That's my
card.
Your problem?
What's your problem, bud? I love it. I knew that, dude.
I really wish I could go back and relive high school, knowing and having the same personality I have now. Because now it's I'm excited to learn. But whereas back then, it's like you couldn't get me excited to learn. It's like it was just a mental thing. Like, well, it's hard to describe.
You dick. Yeah, no, I get it, and yeah, he obviously cares about his job because I mean he went to Spicoli's house off the clock to teach him a lesson. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's maybe that's telling of something too. Look at him, he's wearing these like little bike shorts. He's like, this looks so weird.
He is Chad and Stacy at the same time, those Daisy Dukes.
And this must have been an inside joke at the time when he hands out the test, and the scene ended with them all sniffing the papers.
Yeah, I noticed that. I remember. I think we used to do that as kids.
Like maybe because it was fresh off the print, maybe or something.
Did they sniff it, or were they just putting it on their face? Because sometimes if it just came off, it was warm.
Maybe that's it. But yeah, I think it was fresh off the print. So I don't know. I don't think it's a very obvious thing to throw in there, but I think we just have to assume that's what it was because we kind of did that.
It's one of those things they're hoping, like, oh, we all did that as kids. I remember that. Yeah.
So this is cool though. Look, even the nods to, oh, that girl looks just like Pat Benatar. Oh, well, she does too. They're part of this clique, and then they all like Pat Benatar. It's
so true.
It's so dated though to that, and I think it's really cool. This is a classic scene.
You want to know how many other kids were walking around with their head shaved bald and goatees back in 5th grade? Just because fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin was the biggest fucking king
5th grade
ever.
Okay,
exactly.
Goatees. So we're gonna have the Stacy of all Stacy's, Phoebe Case, performing oral on this carrot.
She is beautiful.
And this is something like, it's funny because nobody makes a big deal about this either. I feel like today the boys even clapping at this would all get expelled. You know what I mean? Like because that even though she's the one that's putting on the show, they're the one they should.
I mean, they would if they got caught by a teacher.
Yeah,
more often you didn't.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Things like this were kind of joked about in school, it's which is weird. It's funny because the movie, like they're always laying in like those kids that are like talking about how they're getting laid, but they're all like when you grow up, you realize like, man, back in the day, you thought you knew so many kids that were getting laid in like 5th grade, but it's like they were lying. Of course they were lying.
Well, and we're gonna have that character as well with Mike Damone because Mike Damone's that character where he's trying to give Rat his Screech, his kind of like nerdy friend, all these tips and stuff because he's cool and suave and he gets the ladies, I guess. So he's the guy that knows. And he's very confident because when he swoops in with Stacy, you know, he seals the deal, but he's clearly a virgin. And that's what they're insinuating too, because he just comes immediately and
he never has sex with her.
Yeah, he did.
Him, the nerdy guy? He never
does. No. I'll tell you about Mike Damone. No, well, the movie ends that they're in a relationship, but they haven't gone all the way. You know, who knows what happens? But
he's probably my favorite character. This fucking nerdy kid.
He looks just like Scott Ian with hair.
Big Chad. He's in The Burning. You ever see The Burning?
I haven't watched it, but I know he's in it.
It's a classic fucking slasher movie. Basically, it's widely regarded as like being what. Highly regarded. Yeah. It's highly regarded, but it's widely regarded as being the movie that like the predated Friday the 13th even, and like which Friday the 13th, which is a ripoff of Halloween, but you all know what I mean.
Yeah,
fucking big shit.
Pause the video, anybody that's watching us after the fact on YouTube or something, and just put a picture of Scott Ian next to Rat's face. He looks like they're the same guy with hair. And I always thought that ever since I was watching this movie as a kid, because I listened to that kind of music when I was a kid. And I'm like, how come no more people don't talk about this? Because he literally looks exactly like him with hair. And then one time, I think on Scott Ian's Instagram, he said something, so he must get it in private. He's like, and no, I'm not the fucking kid from Fast Times. So finally, like he acknowledges it. Somebody acknowledges it because he looks just like him.
What if he's related? That was my great grandfather.
I'm pretty sure they were the same age. Yeah, close to age. You know what? He might have been Scotty might be a little bit older, but anyway.
Look, that's Deborah Harry.
Debbie Harry. So we all knew this guy in high school, right? He's given him advice. Why does he have room to give advice? It's revealed that he's a virgin. He's not really dating anybody. So if he's not fucking and he's not in a relationship, how many women is he really getting? But he's giving him all his dating advice, and it's pretty funny advice, right? Pretend like wherever you're at is the place to be. Isn't this great? Put on. I love it when he's like, put on Led Zeppelin 4 side 2, but then it cuts to a scene and they're listening to Physical Graffiti.
Yeah, he says something here where he goes, a chick decides whether or not she's going to sleep with you within the first 5 minutes of meeting you. It's like, what the fuck? It sounds so ridiculous, but it's like, fucking in the movie, it's just like, but then sometimes he'll give good advice, like fucking, basically, in so many words, but making the point that like fucking, confidence goes a long way. Fucking, as long as you're confident, like a lot of it is that, you know what I mean? Fucking,
yeah. Yeah, like he's kind of in the right area, but he's clearly talking out of his ass too.
Yeah, he is.
So Stacy is going out with this older man, and Phoebe Case was another person. So that just goes to show what's happening on the female side too, because Phoebe Case is saying, "Oh yeah, go out with a distinguished man, go out with an older guy." So she's pushing her to go out with this guy, and she was even teaching her how to suck dick, and she is talking about how, oh yeah, well I'm with a real man too. My college boyfriend, he's in college. He's in Chicago. He's going to college, and we're getting married. We're engaged. She keeps calling him her fiance. We all knew that person too in high school. That was like engaged. Like, okay, well, what the fuck ever. And then, her boyfriend in college, like wherever the fuck she met this guy. And then of course later on in the movie, she's gonna be like distraught because they broke up or whatever. I'm like, you almost get the sense that it could have even been like a pen pal relationship where they hadn't even met each other. Yet. Maybe who knows about this era, but if this was taking place 20, 30 years later, it would have been the equivalent of somebody like an online dating thing, like a distant thing. It would have been the same thing. Because, I've known those people too, where it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to get married. Like, yeah, you never even met this fucking person? Okay. All right. Have fun with that. But of course she's too young to realize, because you're not experienced and you think love is eternal and the first one's the everyone. And then of course that guy's going to be fucking other chicks and bitches in college. You know what I mean? Like whenever you're a little bit older, because a year or 2 or 3 or 4 years is a lifetime when we're talking about the age of 16, 17 to early 20s. You know what I mean? Like there's so much growing that goes on during that time.
And basically she's wanting to sleep with somebody because that's kind of like how she's kind of pressured into it around school. Like all of her friends are talking about how much sex they have.
And Phoebe Cates probably doesn't have a lot of sex either. You don't even know. You know what I'm saying? She might not.
Right. It's probably all just a uniform we're putting on when we're in high school.
Even though she sounds a little bit more convincing that she's at least had sex. Well, they insinuate it. They because when they're talking about it, like after she has this encounter, she gets taken to a fucking dugout, and she gets fucked and she gets dropped off. That's all it is.
The graffiti, like we like to think like the first time it's gonna be great, man. It's gonna be magic.
Yeah,
she's fucked. The graffiti, it says surf Nazis for no reason. Like somebody was a big fan of that Trauma movie.
Yeah. Hey, what's funny is this is back in the day where they could show tits on a girl that was supposed to be portraying like a 14-year-old.
Exactly.
Because they show her tits.
I think they probably still do that, but more often than not, whenever they have shows that take place in high school, they want to cast real high schoolers, and that's a no-go if you ever want to have nudity in your movie.
Yeah, so this scene's important too. So she's talking about how the date went, and she's basically like, it hurts so bad. And anyway, but there's going to be a scene later where they're working at the restaurant. They're like cutting vegetables or whatever at the pizzeria, and she asks Phoebe Cates something in regards to, Does it get better? Or she's talking about it, and Phoebe Cates gives her an answer of uncertainty. Like, I thought she knew. She's like, I think so. I think, yeah. She doesn't really know. She's talking out of her ass just like everybody else.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see it when it comes up, but she doesn't really know what she's talking about either, which is funny. And we gotta bring up how awesome the soundtrack is. Everything in the soundtrack's awesome. It's almost a character in the movie. We just got done listening to Gonna Shine Tonight while she's getting fucking railed in a disgusting dugout.
She must be somebody's baby.
Yeah, there's a really good Don Henley song on the soundtrack that pretty sure. Oh yeah, that's really good. They're when Rat goes to her house, and he basically runs away because he gets nervous because she fucked once and she like wants to fuck Rat now. She's like super fast. Like what the fuck is like? She's in a super rush to grow up. And Rat's the one that's like, I'm not ready. And Garth throwing the gun in the bushes.
when he it's like, does he just does he feel guilty about how it's happening? Like fucking, why does he call it off? Does he just get cold feet? Like fucking,
You talk about how he leaves her house when she's clearly
Yeah.
putting on the moves. No, I just
Mhm.
think some people are like that, man. Girls mature faster than guys. I was like that 100%. Like looking
Mhm.
back in my teenage years, there were so many times that I left a situation in hindsight, and maybe I didn't realize it at the time as much. I just knew it was getting heavy and I would leave. But now in hindsight as an adult, I'm like, dude, I could have had this or I could have did this. I could have did, but I just went on red alert and something happened, fight or flight or whatever. And I just think girls are more mature in that sense. Not necessarily smarter, but
I thought you were gonna say fucking. I just think girls are disgusting. I thought we were gonna fucking do the cuties thing. We were fucking. Fucking girls. Ew.
Dude, when I was in, how old was I? Might have been in the 8th grade.
See, he was just talking about like, oh yeah, fucking like we're banging all the time, and then he goes, and this is like just them between them, and they haven't had sex either. Like,
oh yeah.
so it's like,
It's a recurring theme throughout the whole fucking flick, man.
it was probably trying to beat that into the kids that like, don't feel pressure to have sex because all your friends are lying. They didn't have sex because they feel pressure to have sex, so they're lying.
Yeah, no, it's really, really funny. Dude, I remember when I think I was in the 8th grade, and you know, if you were the kid that had access to like cigarettes and alcohol and shit like that, you were pretty king supreme, man. You know, or even like pot in my case. And I remember these two girls that I went to class with, they came over one day, like after school, and they're asking me if I could hook them up with any smokes or whatever. I'm like, no, I don't got any smokes or whatever. But actually I did. But I would have had to have stolen them from like my parents. They wouldn't have fucking known. My mom.
I remember that. Yeah, you mentioned that story before.
Yeah, and they offered to suck my dick. And I was like, what? Just take them. I was like, I pulled a Garth, like, I can't do this. Take them. Get out of here. Because I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this? Because I was probably like, how old would I?
How old were they?
Same age. That's what I'm saying. It's weird to think about now. That's what I'm saying. Now it's weird to think about.
Weird.
It's weird to think about now. So I might have been, gosh, how old would I have been? In the 8th grade, it was 1999. Yeah, I guess I might have been close to 13. I don't know.
Look at our boy Spicoli coming in with eating a fucking green apple. As we all know, he knows green apple is king. And he's got the fucking
a bagel
in his
stuffed
pants.
in his pants. And
what is it about men and stuffing shit? They're like, you watch any movie where a guy has a gun, they always stick it there. Like, nobody would do that in real life. That is the dumbest thing.
Why would you want to eat a fucking bagel that's been all up on your dick? That's fucking gross. Spicoli doesn't look like the cleanest guy on the block. You know what I mean?
It's soaking up all the sweat accumulating in your right. Like it's just running out your belly button.
It kind of looks like he just took a shower. Why is he always wet looking? Is he sweating? Is he hot? I don't know. Why is he always wet like a wet dog?
That's probably just the look of the hair they wanted. It seemed like, I remember that in school. Like when I was a kid, I wanted my hair to always look wet, like they do in movies. Like fucking, and it's just like, well, in movies they can wet it before they fucking start the camera. It's probably all bullshit.
So this scene always cracks me up. I don't know. And then he's like being a snarky asshole. I'm going to leave this up for the rest of my class throughout the day to basically see. And he's like, all right. And it's totally lost on him that he's like fucking shitting on him.
Yeah, Mr. Hand.
All right.
Mr. Hand kind of looks like he could be the dad of the guy who played Trickster in Brain Scan.
Okay, I see it. I can see it.
Fucking, they have that weird kind of they have like their facial features are super defined, like almost to a point where it seems over exaggerated, like an artist rendering of a person's face.
He looks like a cartoon character come to life. Yeah,
genius, big Chad energy.
I love it. Oh, this guy. Oh, we missed it. Remember that's the Santa Claus I got pissed on earlier, and he had that overdub. Like, oh,
we didn't mention who's playing Stacy. That's.
Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Jennifer Jason Leigh. She was a Stacy in this movie. She's kind of a Stacy in this movie.
And it's weird talking about it because I think they were all. How old was she? Well, no, she had to have been an adult. She showed her titties.
Exactly.
But she looked young. She kind of had a youthful look.
Exactly. Fucking. But like, that's what's so weird. It's like, that's why it's almost like more comfortable now that they do make movies and just cast younger kids for maybe like that's just the ultimate like I get lucky because it's like my generation gets to be the fucking defining like we were done with that, now we're gonna fucking actually cast kids, and it's fucking like there's no kind of like thinking, yeah, you don't gotta worry about shit like that. Where it's like fucking, I remember I was watching fucking, what was it? The fucking Adventures of Babysitting. I was sitting there the whole time as a 23 years old. I forget when it was. I'm watching it thinking like, Elizabeth Shue is so fucking hot in this movie. What a fucking Stacy. This is like definitive Stacy. You look up Stacy, this is her. Fucking the whole 80s hairdo, it was all working. And then I fucking found out she was literally like 16 or 17 when she was making the movie. And
was she really?
I felt fucking like, what? But it was like, this is always a movie that I've been watching since I was a kid, thinking she was so hot. And like,
because you always saw her as like this older woman. Because you're watching as a kid, and she looked like she could have been 20 or whatever. Because when you are a kid, a 16-year-old looks like they're 40. You know, it's just,
exactly.
And your parents look like they're 90, but they're not. Their parents are like 30.
And now a 16-year-old literally looks like they're like 12 years old. Like fucking, it's like that song from Chris Rock where he's like, if a woman says she's 36 and looks 36, she's 12. Very Chad. It's so true.
Yeah. And then look at our boy Mike Damone here. Before that, we saw what he does for a day job or a side hustle, and it's a career that has not lasted the test of time like prostitution. The good old job of scalping.
He's still making the ends meet doing it with the fucking PlayStations, dude.
Yeah, I bet you. Yeah, he's got his book around there. He's like, let me see, Earth, Wind, and Fire for it's like, no, I don't have any Blue Oyster Cult. It's great though, but how many kids like that had that kind of side hustle at 16 or however old he's supposed to be? He's literally going to all these box offices and waiting in line and shit. I mean, where does he find the time to do that? But I don't know. And I don't understand how his racket works. Because this is back in the day where you had to go line up at the box office, right? To get tickets when they would open on sale, and you had to wait in line and hopefully get tickets and they wouldn't sell out. There was no online thing. Anyway, how was he like putting it in the book? Like, okay, I'll put you down for 2 Earth, Wind, and Fire for brother. I mean, clearly it sounds like they're not even on sale yet. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe this guy's okay with that, the Forrest Whitaker, and he's like, look, this guy's going to go sleep on the curb. I'm willing to pay him extra money to do it. Like, how do you put someone down for future tickets is what I'm saying that he doesn't have. Yeah. It's probably he's going to put in the work.
And it's like it's before the internet too, so it's like Ticketmaster and stuff it wasn't as easy to just get tickets to a concert.
Yeah. Okay. So our boy here, Smooth Man, acting like he lost his coat. Let me check the lost and found.
Yeah, and that was a total awkward when she's like, "Fuck," he thought he was being cool. She's like, "Oh, it might be in here," and he goes, "It'll take too long to look at it. I'll just buy a new one." That sounds fucking stupid. But like in his state of mind, I was like, fucking, oh yeah, I'll just fucking brush it off. Like that's the kind of thing you accidentally say, and you're like, oh god, and you're like, you hope they don't notice.
Hairy big pussy. I know it's big hairy pussy, but I see hairy big pussy.
Exactly. I thought like, did the guy doing this try to make it a fucking like modern art piece where it says big pussy on the wall, but in the mirror he wrote hairy, and it's like supposed to be like fucking like logic, like oh. See what he's saying there? He's acknowledging it's meta, like fucking a modern day art piece. Very Chad.
You know that famous, I just hate the way sometimes people align lettering. So you know that famous Walking Dead promo still from the first season that says it's supposed to be don't open dead inside?
Yeah.
But it looks fucked up because it's a 2-pane door and it says don't open dead inside, but don't and dead are on one door, and
so
then
don't dead open inside.
It fucks with me. I'm like, this doesn't look good at all, and it just it's terrible.
I always think that.
Yeah, and then when they released the Blu-ray of that or whatever, it came in a box with the doors. I'm like, it still looks like don't dead, yeah, open. It's fucked up. It's funny how the mind works. Okay, so this guy, this is the throes of working in fast food or customer service of any kind.
This is what I mean when it's trying to get
Nick Nolte. Nicholas Coppola.
This is what I mean when I say it's trying to get the point across that like you want to grow up whenever you're a kid but like fucking so much of growing up is like working a job like this where like like it's so easy to actually get heat. Like it's easy to be either side of this argument, really. Like it's easy to just blow up because like, oh, they fucked up something on my order, and then it's easy to like fucking just get really heated and like frustrated whenever you're getting yelled at by fucking very Chad shit.
Called me a moron, Dennis. So no, but it also goes to show he's in a rush to grow up. But you know what? He thinks he's king shit, but he finds out fast that everybody's replaceable. Like, you're not king shit, man. He got fired in over nothing. No questions asked.
Exactly. It has a kind of hard knock life kind of message where it's like, fucking don't be excited to grow up, baby, because it's fucking
you got your whole life to work. So you know what's funny though is I love this stoner dream he's having, like going off to England, part of Keith and the Stones. Like,
was that him or was that just B footage?
Oh, probably B footage. I like when he's like when he's asking about the competitions. What do you think about such? Those guys are fags. Back in the day when you could say the F word, man. Sorry.
See, they should make the movie. They should remake it and basically have that scene, but then just have him grab the camera and go, what would that matter, Spicoli, if he was a homosexual? What difference would that make? That's just more pussy for you. And then put it back in his face. He's like, whoa, I never thought about it like that. Then it's like enlightened, woke, and fucking, it's true to the original at the same time.
Spicoli really is kind of like Pauly Shore before Pauly Shore. He's got all this weird verbiage that only he uses, you know? And
exactly.
Like everything he just said here, his answers to this reporter in this dream was like almost in another language. You have to kind of speak Spicoli. Right?
This literally happened. This is like art imitating life. That one random guy that got, whoa, you get to jump in the wave and boy, what was it? You get biffed. Fucking that guy that they really did. Did you ever see that footage from the news?
I don't know.
It says something weird like, oh, you get biffed. Like some weird slang term used.
Look, man, his parents didn't give a shit. He has like naked centerfolds and shit girls spread eagle and shit all over his wall.
Did you know any kid? I knew, like my cousin Ryan did that, but I'd never.
There's a Pamela Springsteen, by the way. Pamela Springsteen. She's one of the cheerleaders at the Pep Rally. Yeah. Anyway, continue. No, I never. You did. So you knew someone. He had all that shit on his walls, and no one gave a shit.
My cousin Ryan. There's a good moment right here, a genuine moment where she goes, you know, it takes a lot of courage to get up here and do something that you know everybody knows is lame. And then it just hard cuts to them talking. And it's like they didn't even notice that really honest point that really all of them feel, but like they can't admit it. You know what I mean?
It's really funny. I remember I don't know if I was really embarrassed. I didn't really give a shit. I remember I got pulled up at a pep rally. We had a big high school, 4,000 kids. And I went to high school with Adam Devine. And the workaholics guy, Adam Devine, he was always really loud like that, and so he would host a lot of the pep rallies because he was just energetic and he got everybody amped up, and he was who he is. And I remember he pulled me down, and they were doing like he was asking questions. He was like singing lyrics to popular songs of the day, and we had to guess what song it was, and I didn't really. For one, I was listening to my dad's music. I wasn't really listening to pop music of the day. But two, he wouldn't just say the lyrics. He would have to like sing them in some parody, like fucking Adam Sandler, fucking crazy voice, you know, really loud in the mic. And I'm like, I don't fucking understand what you just said. Like, could you just not sing it and tell me the lyrics? So, and anyway, he sang whatever lyrics, and I still to this day don't know what he sang. And then when I didn't know the answer, everybody was like laughing at me, like, "Oh my god, what a fucking look! Like, what do you fucking care?" Like, maybe you guys could actually understand it in the rafters, but I couldn't understand it here.
You know what I'm thinking right now? Did they literally mass produce fucking cardboard stand-ups of fucking Deborah Harry from Blondie? Because I have to find one,
cut the mouth out,
and keep it and fucking jack off at it, like use it as a target. Amazing. Mm-hmm. That's very crude humor. Fucking somebody just landing on this thinks that's as crude as I get. Isn't that funny?
Lady will have a linguine and white clam sauce and a Coke with no ice. Why women like no ice? And I don't understand why it's classy.
Mm-hmm. You know what I realized recently? One of my ultimate goals in life, they say dream big, is to have a fucking a refrigerator that has a ice maker that freezes ice just like the fucking the ice that you get in restaurants. That's like perfectly round and it's fucking awesome. That would be calm inducing. Oh, there it is. He's listening to Kashmir.
So I assume they have to address this on a commentary. I haven't watched the commentary yet on the Criterion one that I picked up fairly recently, but they have to, because I've always wondered that, because I mean, even me as a little kid, I knew Kashmir was on Physical Graffiti and not Led Zeppelin 4.
They have explained it, and basically it's because Led Zeppelin has always been like very hard to get rights to use their music.
So they wrote this and they filmed this before they got shit to clear, and they had to put. They're like, okay, we'll give you Kashmir, but we're not giving you Stairway to Heaven, because side two.
It was something like that.
Side two, like if you're thinking about side two, might have been Stairway to Heaven. I'm trying to think about how the vinyls work from the tracks.
They said it even works though, because it's almost like the joke is like, oh, it almost reads like he's such a dork that he didn't even have the right tape. He had to settle for like fucking a stand, like a cheap. It's not even a cheap knockoff because it's the same band, but it's like he didn't even have the one he told him to.
I mean, yeah, so that is possible. Like maybe he just didn't own Led Zeppelin 4 and he settled. You know,
let's all face it, Led Zeppelin 2 is the best.
I disagree.
I don't know.
I actually think Led Zeppelin 4 probably is the best. And that's kind of the hip answer to say, which kind of sucks. But I think everybody likes 2, 3, 4, House of the Holy, Physical Graffiti, kind of like. It's just kind of pick your poison, but 4 gets the edge. 4 has Going to California on it, and that's the best Led Zeppelin song, so that's why it gets it for me.
That's that fucking going to the country, going to California, gonna eat a lot of peaches. Am I right?
No, it's not that one.
Fucking, that's a great song.
Like, I'm kind of busy here. Like, it's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
You owe me for this one.
You know what's funny too is we've all done that. But it's like when you're an adult, it makes sense because it's like, oh, I work and then like this is my off time. I'm busy. I'm enjoying my off time. But that's like we've all done that. But
might as well make him feel bad and get. You know what's funny is this always takes me back too. So he took that phone call and then he looked at the TV and says, oh, "What happened?" Then like, man, I always think like, shit, I'm literally watching this on a Blu-ray player. I could pause it if I get a phone call and even rewind it if I didn't. But yeah, back in the day, you're watching something you catch on TV. You just kind of catch it probably halfway through. You get a phone call. You're fucking missing it, man. You can't go back.
That would be infuriating. Yeah. Like if I couldn't just like rewind a movie, like I didn't even think of that. Like we take so much shit for granted.
Hi. Yeah.
What is that?
He looks like he's intentionally dressing like Brian Johnson from AC/DC Back in Black. He has to be. He has to be dressing just like him. And that
big cock energy.
This is 1982. Back in Black had already been out for a little bit of time, so it was probably all the rage. He's like, I gotta dress like that fucking little Englishman.
What was that? Like that ball he put in his mouth and then it like he
gushed. Yeah, it looked weird. Yeah,
what the fuck?
I've always wondered what it was, and I was looking at it just now. I'm like, maybe it was like a pickle or something because that's a German restaurant. It was probably like something I fucking don't know.
It's a dude egg.
Like
pickled eggs.
It always kind of looked like it was like a testicle, and he's like biting that testicle because when they used to see testicles on Fear Factor with Joe Rogan, they always kind of look like that. They gushed.
Is it true that dude eggs are like cow testicles? I think I heard that on an episode of like fucking Viva La Bam from Don Vito. So I never really put it together that I was getting it from like a terrible source, but like fucking I've always assumed it was true just because I heard it.
We're not supposed to speak Don Vito's name because he groped a 13-year-old's tit or something like that.
Weirdo.
A fan. What a weirdo.
Like like imagine like who do you feel sorry for? The kid? Or Don Vito.
What a natural reaction there when he's like helping her out, unzipping her dress, and that look on his face, like, oh.
I was trying to set up a joke.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't. I was so focused.
I didn't even realize it made no sense anyway. Like it made no sense with what I was trying to build to.
No, but it's so easy to put yourself in Rat's position because this is exactly what this would feel like. You could feel how it would feel being in his position right now. She's putting on all the moves, and you wouldn't really get it maybe at that age, but now as an adult, it's like, shit, she's having him unzip her. And then he asked where her parents were. Oh, they're out of town. Oh, come in here. She's in a robe. Sit on my bed. Whenever you sit on a girl's bed, I don't care if you're in high school or whatever, it's usually a sign. It's not, and I'm not saying that means green means go and fucking rape somebody, but like they're clearly, look at the body language. She wants him to get his pinky stinky. That's for sure.
Fucking, Jennifer Jason Leigh's good. Fucking, there's a couple like fucking movies I would consider like 9s that have her in this. Fucking, I really
Single
like
white
Dolores
female.
Claiborne.
Oh,
what did you say?
Oh, I said single white female. She was in that. I didn't know if that was one of them. Dolores Claiborne. Yeah, I forgot.
Single white female. Isn't that a really bad movie? Isn't it like?
I've never watched it.
Yeah, I think that's a not so good one. Kind of a very cheap 90s thriller.
I'm just trying to think of all the movies she's in. It's not really. I can't really think of that many. How many movies can you really think of that? You just had trouble.
She's in like Existence. Fucking yeah, like
She's obviously in Hateful Eight much later.
Yeah,
but yeah,
like you think he's still just like fucking. I don't know. Is she like me or I don't know. Like, so yeah, he does. He gets cold feet.
Look at this look she's giving him right now. Like, oh, she's ready to be fucked. Look at her. That look. Like she's wet, man.
I feel so bad for her and him. Fucking.
Look at that look. Look at that look. Like, yeah, what? Really?
She's good in this movie. She knows she's fucking terrific. I think all the acting holds up. I think it's good.
Yeah, they were playing that Don Henley song, that Love Rules song during this whole scene. I really like that song too. Look, and this is cool. He knows he fucked up. He goes to turn back and she's already turned the light off. And I've had those types of moments too, where it's like hindsight is 20/20, but you're a little too late. Like, oh God, I fucked. Oh shit. And you just, and even then, if that was me and I was walking away and I saw the light go off, I'm like, shit. In hindsight, I would have been like, no, she just turned the light off. Go back. It's not too late. Just because she turned that light off doesn't mean it's too late.
Exactly. But
I made the first move and the second move. Yeah.
This these masks they're wearing very they look fucking these two women are beautiful even with a Gumby face on. They're perpetuating Gumby culture and they are still big fucking Stacy's.
Mecca licka high, mecca hiney hoes. There are a couple of mecca licka high hiney hoes. There you go.
Fucking, what does that shit mean? Did they ever tell us what that meant? Mecca licka high, mecca charlie ho.
It's mecca licka high, mecca hiney ho.
But then it changes for the second one. Mecca licka high, mecca charlie ho.
Yeah, mecca licka high, mecca hiney ho. Oh, you're right. Mecca licka high, mecca chiny cho. And I remember on the Christmas special, he goes, mecca licka high, mecca hiney ho. Mecca licka high, mecca ho ho ho. It's like
maybe they were stoned and they were like geniuses.
Yeah,
like fucking, they're stoned right now. Shit, they're like, oh my god,
dude, this scene cracks me up when this little kid screams when he's gonna wreck out. And they like their fucking shit falls out of their mouth, their cigarettes, their weed or whatever. When he does a high pitched scream, and I love it when he gets out of the car after the thing's told, I can fix it. My dad is a TV repairman. He's got a killer set of tools.
There was another little hint of like kids talking about how they're always having sex when they're lying. He said, "Man, I love sex."
He goes, Bo Derek's tits. He's like, nice, Bo Derek's tits. He's like, I like sex. I like sex.
Was that just a character quirk for him, or was that kind of landed
weird,
on the joke?
Because who says that out loud? Because it's kind of a given. Like, I get it. Everybody likes that. That's like saying, I like oxygen. Great. I mean, good. I can tell. Taking it up right now.
Genius. Maybe this is more clever stoner writing.
No, it's great.
Yeah, this is funny though.
First
like,
gonna kill you. Is the first gonna shit? Then he's gonna kill you. Then he's gonna kill us. Then he's gonna shit. Well, he's gonna calm down. Is he gonna shit or is he gonna kill us?
They're playing like the stoned high, like paranoia pretty good.
Yeah.
And then like the fact that he's like, I can fix it. Like everybody has that friend that like, they work on cars and stuff like that. And it's just like,
especially when it's not your car. It's like your friend. So it's like, okay, I'll try fixing it. Cause what do I have to lose? He gets fucking the shit kicked out of him and I can just bail.
What they do is kind of genius.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The whole setting up and framing the rival team for the big homecoming game coming up.
They They make it look like it was like a senior prank.
No. They make it because they got they're promoting the big homecoming game. She's doing the flyers and shit, right? There's a homecoming game against the rival school. They make it like, the rival school trashed his car.
Yeah, that's what I meant. A senior prank.
Yeah. So then it made him. It's funny. He took it out on the team and shit like that. And he's even like rejoicing after he kicked their asses. I'm like, did you really make him pay? All you did was beat him at the game. You planned on beating him at anyway. Don't you still want to like kill him? Because they still fucked your car.
Did you say that's Nicolas Cage?
No, Nicolas Cage. You already missed it. He worked at the fast food place. Right?
Yeah.
He was one of the fry cooks, and you have a line.
I remember he's in here, but I always miss him every time I watch it.
When Brad is getting cussed out by I'm going to kick 100% of your ass. Like, they're looking up. He's one of the fry cooks, him and someone else, and they look back down. That's it. That's all you get of him.
Was our boy Forrest Whitaker wearing the same tracksuit and fucking what's it called, the fucking the Crying Game? For some reason, that's all I can picture him in is that tracksuit. Like now I'm like I'm experiencing like Mandela effect, and I'm having like visions of him hosting the fucking early 2000s Twilight Zone reprisal in that tracksuit. And I know he didn't. He was wearing a suit.
I forgot all about that. He hosted that Twilight Zone.
Oh,
That's when his career must have been going through a little bit of a lull, because he ended up winning an Oscar, and now he was like Last King of Scotland. He's been all over the place.
It didn't. It lasted once. It didn't pick up again. Like,
but he would never do that now. I mean, now he's.
I think that's the fucking biggest Chad fucking huge cock shit about him.
I think he's won
Chad
like
shit.
2 Oscars since then. He won for Last King of Scotland, then he won for Lee Daniels' The Butler, that movie just a handful of years ago. So.
Exactly. He very dank. People on this podcast have been known to make jokes about his lazy eye or something.
No, and Todd hates him. Todd can't stand. He's like one of those guys. He sees Forrest Whitaker in a movie, it's an instant turn off, and he can't watch it. And I don't get it, because he's in so many good movies, man. He's in Bloodsport. That was one of his early movies, if not his first movie. I don't even know, but he was in Bloodsport. No, this was first. He was in this. He was in Bloodsport. And Crying Game is a good movie. Last King of Scotland's a good movie. It's hard to deny some of them.
I always thought he was good every time I see him. Everything I've seen him in. These dudes literally look like fucking bootleg
Carrot Tops, split in half. It looks like Pinhead's they're about to open the box, and Pinhead's gonna mash their heads together and turn them into fucking freaky twin Cenobites, like in Hellbound. No, not Hellbound. Bloodline.
Fucking, I just got in the mood to watch that movie. Fucking hell yeah.
Oh yeah. Man.
Oh my god.
We're getting there.
Oh my god. The most iconic scene and like
it's not quite. No. Rat and Mike Damone are gonna come, and they're gonna swim for a bit, and then Brad's gonna cut back to Brad before he quits his job. And we're gonna hear his boss quote that thing I said to you when I was talking about how you don't even pitch our shows anymore when you go on Coach Show. He's gonna go because he's seen taking off his uniform to go do this delivery order. He's like, Brad, he's like, what are you doing?
I know it's not quite there. I'm saying her in that fucking bikini
is iconic.
That swimsuit is iconic.
Exactly. What's with these shorts? It's funny how back in just a decade it changed from wear as short as shorts as possible if you're a guy, like, to wear these longest shorts. They're jorts. They might as well be jeans, like Kevin Smith long. And there's really no in between. Like, I don't understand. Like, it's either have your ass hanging out like a girl or wear pants.
Oh yeah, fucking Phoebe Case. Have we not admired Phoebe Case enough in this commentary yet? I don't think we.
That's what she says. She's like, hey, does he last long? She's asking about his. She's like, no. She's like, does he always come? It's just one of those things. Like, I think so. He's no high school boy or whatever. Yeah, she doesn't know either. She doesn't know.
The scene, my favorite is fucking what was it? Oh, I just had it.
Oh, no, that's what it was. She asked her if, like, I think if she always finishes. She doesn't even fucking know. Like, so many girls haven't even had an orgasm at this stage in their life. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. My favorite line she says when she's doing that is, I forget what it is. Hopefully it comes to me. I was thinking about it, and then it like fell out of there. It just got out of there. Came out. Yeah.
So yeah,
very clumsy trying to mac on. Like at the very least, he's trying to get him like back on board with the girl, the Stacy, and fucking see that's what's so funny about memes is you don't know which Stacy I'm talking about. There are fucking literally 3 Stacys on the screen already.
wait,
fucking,
I see 2. Where's the third one? Is it Rad or is it Damone?
The anthrax guy, exactly.
Okay,
you all know.
So yeah, my bad. It's right here. So he's gonna be like, "Could you keep it down? I got some work to do inside." Hi, Linda. And he's going to go in there and he's going to start staring at her like we all would from the bathroom window. We'd stare at her sitting on that fucking diving board. And then, classic scene is going to ensue. She's going to dive and she's going to get water in her ear and she's going to walk in on the man fucking beating that meat.
I remember every time I watch like a documentary about VHS and like anytime people bring up the VHS copy of this movie, they always bring up how if you got it from a rental store, this section of the movie was always fucked up because people were just
rewound it so much. Really?
Yeah, this is one of those movies.
That's funny.
I would have taken it even further though. I would have been the guy that's like, not only do I gotta fucking do that, I gotta come on the tape. My cum has to touch the tape.
This is such a high mark. This is the dream if you're a filmmaker to be able to make a scene like this that's iconic. And I wonder if when they were writing this, they knew like this is gonna be an iconic scene. Like if it was thought out enough to where Cameron Crowe was even like, I mean, I'm pretty sure it came from the director, like maybe when she did her shooting draft, because usually the director will do a shooting draft where they'll add in like camera angles and all the bullshit that's good for them. But you really, they could have wrote this scene and it been like, he could have known like, okay, Cars music playing, dream sequence, thinking like, yeah, this is going to be slow motion. Like this is going to be epic.
Dude, if a fucking genie showed up, if Kazam, the rapping genie showed up right now and gave me one wish, I'm immediately saying, I wish I was Chris Klein right now.
Yeah.
And that covers everything. I'm already rich. I'm married to Phoebe Case, and fucking I was in fucking I Love You to Death, a classic fucking black comedy that no one talks about.
Yeah. Oh, look at that face she makes, like, ooh.
I know, and it's so like fucking. What do you say after that? He's just like,
I wonder if you would have been able to put together like, oh, he was just outside. Was he looking at me? There's a window right there. Or if she just would have been like, because girls don't really fully understand the way guys operate at that age. I don't know if they ever really fully do. Or if that's just me thinking that because I'm a guy and obviously I would have put it together if I was a guy. Like, dude, there's a window right there. It's a pretty girl down there.
What if she's a total Stacy and she was conditioning him from the minute she wanted that to happen? This is all part of her game. Fucking, she acted disgusted, but she really likes that motherfucker.
Then she would have joined him and helped him out.
No, you can't do that. That appears too easy. That's too much. Fucking, that's too good at once. Fucking, you gotta.
I used to laugh when he turns and he sees Spicoli there on time and smiling, and he's got a turtleneck on under his fucking dashiki or whatever the fuck he's wearing. But yeah, but he hasn't turned over a new leaf quite yet. He ordered a pizza. So fucking great, man. And it's this guy from Angels in the Outfield. Anything but nachos. This
guy, he is in so many movies where he literally plays a pizza delivery guy.
Yeah, he's also in what's it called? Golf Clap. Isn't he the guy in Men at Work? Isn't he the pizza guy in Men at Work?
Maybe, but he's also the pizza guy in Biodome. I swear, me and Goat did a movie recently where he showed up as a pizza guy. I think it was the movie we did. It was a movie. It was basically an early or late 80s action movie, and it was a vehicle for Emilio Estevez. They were trying to make him an action star. I forget what the title was, but it also had Mick Jagger in it.
Oh, Free Jack?
Yeah, Free Jack. I think he played a pizza guy in there.
Well, I'm looking it up because it's driving me crazy.
See, look, he's trying to make an example. Spicoli ain't trying to get him. Like, oh, see, do you get it? Like,
I see anything wrong with having a little feast on a hard time? I know, it's really great.
If
you're here and I'm here.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
Yeah, I'm trying to get all deep into the lesson he's trying to teach him. You're getting all memey, fucking talking about the lines.
I got to correct myself, or someone calls me out. He did not play the pizza man in the movie I said Men at Work. I don't know why I was thinking he might have, but yeah, but he's in a lot of shit.
Fucking Jennifer Jason.
Look at this hoe. She's playing with a necklace. I kind of like you, and she walks away.
She is so Stacy right now. So Stacy.
Listen, Mark Ryder really likes you. Do you like him?
And it's sad because like she literally does like him. He literally likes her. He seems like a nice kid who wants it for the right reasons. And like fucking because she's so like gung ho on losing her virginity and kind of maintaining this image she thinks she has to. Because the other girl, she's I just gotta go from one to the other. I gotta find the
but she also just thinks she got rejected. She also thinks he's not into her because of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But it's clearly he is into her. But it's so everything's like you look at it from behind a snow globe, and it looks so obvious to me. Like, yeah, clearly he's nervous. Clearly he's this. But
humans do not always think logically.
In the moment, maybe it's not so easy. She's like, I don't get it, you know? Because to her, in all the shit she's been hearing from her friend and all that stuff, if he likes me, he should be fucking me. Because her only experience was with that first guy, right? He liked her. He was assertive, gave her the phone number, took her to a dugout, and fucked her. Like, oh, okay, that's what it means to be liked, and he went right at it.
And watching that as an adult, there's so much.
It's rapey. It's fucking gross.
It's trying to like, it's trying to beat it into kids that like this isn't the way to do it. Like the guy, it's very clear she's obviously not the age he's saying. And there's a point where like right before they have sex, he goes, "You're sure you're fit? You sure you're 18?
You sure?" You know, it's 19. He's like, "You sure you're 19? Yeah, I really am."
And then you can tell, like, he only did that because, like, well, I can't get in trouble. She lied to me. Fucking, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah. As if he was really gonna turn away at that point. The way the camera changes in this shot, it's so close in this, like, changing room. It looks sleazy. It almost looks like either a porno's about to start or Jason's gonna come through with a harpoon and stab them both. It just looks something about it.
They tried to make it look real. Like, it looks very handheld. It's not glamorous. It's kind of like, almost like you're watching
a porno.
Like the hand, like you could have just be watching a documentary style. Like it makes it feel more real. Yeah,
it makes it feel claustrophobic. Like you're in that room with her. Look she's got this fuck me look. You first.
And there's nothing romantic or like memorable about this at all. Like they want their first time to be memorable. This is like just the opposite. And like because like you know. It went on this bad detour, like fucking. It results in fucking like bad detour, like fucking. If only they would have been thinking logically, our boy would have he would have stayed with her that night and wouldn't have walked out. But humans don't think logically all the time. Mm-hmm. It's the emotions that get the better of you.
But this is a great scene. It just sort of lifts the veil. This to me lifts the veil on the movie from here on out. It's like, yeah, Mike Damone, like he's done. Music ends, and I love it. He calls it out. He's not even he's embarrassed about it, but at least he's transparent. Like, oh, did you hear? Did you feel that? I just came. Did you feel it? Stacy, I gotta go.
Exactly. He's embarrassed because like that was his first time, but he wouldn't want to admit that. And this is what happens everybody's first time. It's kind of sad that we build up sex so much that it's kind of like it's doomed to fail, because like it can only lead up to that first time where it feels like, oh, that was underwhelming. Like, oh yeah, it was good, but like, once you get better at it, then it's like, yeah, fucking.
But I'll tell you though, it happens to everybody. Look, I think you're only embarrassed and it's like that when it's the first time. But I don't care who you are. Like if you're in a relationship or how much pussy you get. Every now and a blue moon, the gun just goes off. It just like, oh shit! You're like, what the fuck just happened? Sorry.
It's all a mental thing. It's all mental. Like it's just like how in the moment. Sometimes it happens for the woman too. It's very Stacy, very Chad.
And it's funny though because like there's no embarrassment like your first time, especially if like you're in a relationship. It's just like, oh, sorry, my bad. What's on TV? You know, what's going on?
Exactly. Look, he's on top of the world. After that fucking night.
Yeah, it's weird. He's embarrassed, but he does feel, you could tell he's got a certain confidence. Like, well, now I can say I got laid. And I'm not lying anymore.
Right out of the gate, he's one of those guys that's like, okay, yeah, we got to leave me alone now. But he's not doing it because he's such an asshole. It's because he just did it with his friend. He's embarrassed. He just did it with his friend girl too. Because like we've all been either on either side of that conversation too, where you did something that like you knew your friend wanted that, but like you didn't really think about it like that, and then like you didn't think about how you would feel, and then like you feel bad, and like yeah, we've all had that done to us and went through it and done it to someone. Like,
I can't say I've been in that situation, but I can understand how it's a pretty universal thought, and a lot of people have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're going over there as a representative of Captain Hook Fish and Chips. Show some pride.
Exactly.
Zach, you're going over to the Goat Show as representative of Riles Now. Show some pride. Just changing for the ride over.
Is his boss being ironic when he says that, or was like, show some pride?
Yeah, how could a guy his age be that fucking gung ho about where he works? I mean, I just don't get me wrong.
They're all jobs. Any job is a good job as long as you're fucking getting by. But like, yeah, fucking, you gotta have some
humanity. Like, come on, like, and realize, like, come on. Why is he actually wearing? His boss isn't seeing him anymore. Why is he actually wearing the hat? That's what I always wondered.
He forgets he has it on. That's why.
I know he's gonna be like hitting on this chick who kind of looks. She's got a handsome jawline on her. She kind of looks ugly. I don't think she looks very good. She kind of looks like a '70s porn star, actually. But anyway, laughing at him, and he realizes he's got the hat on, and he's like, "Fuck this job, man." He starts throwing all that dank ass nug food, man, out the window. Like, I don't want it. Throws it all out. And I'm like, I would have kept it.
Aaron is crazy. That chick is very Stacy.
She's wearing too much makeup. I think that's what it is.
That was a thing in the 80s, exactly.
But anyway, but you know what? I'm not shitting on his boss because maybe he's gunning for a big promotion. Maybe he wants to become a regional manager. I know for a fact if you work yourself up to like a regional, like I knew a guy, he worked at a Pizza Hut and then he managed the Pizza Hut, and that was fine. That's whatever.
This scene right here where he goes,
your mom is all right, your daddy's all right.
He's trying to sell it, like, oh, you want some tickets? Oh yeah, you want to go see what's the name of that band?
Cheap Trick. He's trying to sell Cheap Trick.
Cheap Trick. Fucking mommy's all right, daddy's all right. They just seem a little weird. The only other thing I knew that song from was Detroit Rock City. I knew it as the song from Detroit Rock City, and I always thought the way I heard it, and I always thought because I heard it that way the first time, I still hear it that way today. I always think it says, "Your mommy's all right, daddy's all right. They just seem a little gay." And I was like, and then he says surrender. I was like, that doesn't rhyme. Surrender. They seem a little gay. I assumed he must have meant the old way of thinking it. Like, oh, they seem a little weird, a little off. Or no, wait, that was queer meant that. Fucking gay meant happy. So it was like, yeah, I never understood exactly what the lyric was trying to imply. But
I'm glad you said Detroit Rock City because I've been thinking about that on and off all week, how much I want to watch it again. I want to watch it with the lady. And I don't think you can stream it anywhere. I think I have to get it on Vudu. I want to say I thought it was on sale and I probably missed it. Fucking hell.
That's why you got to be a concrete cocked Chad like me and buy it when it goes on Blu-ray. I knew that was going to go out of print quick.
Yeah. Well,
fucking Chad movie. Criminally underrated.
You wanted it more than I did. You take that back. All right, take it back.
Exactly.
What like, a fucking scumbag fucking thing to say.
He like it's crazy because he immediately goes to, well, you gotta get an abortion. It's like
I know
you should like let her be the one that comes up with that.
But that's kind of probably how it went back in the day, though.
Exactly.
Well, because I think in 1982, this was probably still in the shame days because. Think about it. Her parents' generation came from probably the 50s and the 60s where you really were a whore. If you got pregnant, you went across Mexican lines to fucking get that shit taken care of because you're never going to have the same reputation again.
Mm.
You know, because it took a little time for all this to sort of change.
Exactly. There's some parts of it where it seems like he's stepping up enough to where it's like he's not a bad
but he can't get the money, so he just doesn't. He avoids her. He obviously can't get enough money, so he doesn't answer his phone. He's stuck in a Dodger.
He drops it.
And which kills me because if I was in that situation and I was the kid and I was looking at being a father and I was freaking out like him, I would do whatever it took. I'd steal the money from my parents, my mom's purse, whatever I had to do. I'd rather deal with that heat than. But he is bold enough to be like, well, I'm just gonna fucking ignore because I know she'll take care of it. She'll just come up with the money. She'll do it. Come up with the money somehow, some way, steal money, and I won't be a dad. Like that would drive me crazy. I would be sweating bullets, like going to school, looking at her stomach, from afar for the next fucking 4 or 5 months. Did she get it aborted? Did it happen? Did she do it?
I could never even imagine doing that.
Like I wouldn't know what to fucking think. Like, but some people are like that. Some people can out of sight, out of mind. They can just turn it off. Some people can father kids and like leave. Like, that's not my kid. Bye. And do that. And they could just disconnect. Some people can do it and it blows me away. But I want to think that maybe he had plans to later, once he bailed on her, be like, hey, did you
see the camera guy, the reflection there?
No, I didn't. I actually missed it.
I just noticed it for the first
time. What
a
rookie mistake. Why don't you wait till you got to wait a minute? Let him get out of sight.
It made it seem more real. Who cares? Fucking
no, but it doesn't. No, I would have never done that. She got out of the car and did a quick fucking 180 and started crossing the street. Like, give me a break. No.
Oh, I thought you were talking about her accidentally making it so you could see the camera.
No. I mean, like, she had to be seen by Brad for the movie to keep going, right?
Yeah.
Because she got picked up and all that stuff. But like, nobody would do that. If you were getting dropped off in secret saying, hey, I'm going to go meet some friends to go bowling, but it was right across the street from the abortion clinic, so you tell them to throw you off there, you would wait. You would hang out, like, make sure he got past that red light and turned the corner before you went across the street.
Luckily enough, Brad is a total Chad, though.
He's cool. You gotta tell me who it is.
I don't know if I would have been that mentally, like, what's the word? Like,
you would have been like, I'm telling mom.
I don't know if I would have been that, like,
mature. He's very mature about it.
Mature.
Yeah. He's obviously got a good relationship with his sister.
I was only like 3 years older than but like, yeah, when he probably is too, but like when you're that age, it seems like a long ass time. Like,
well, she's a freshman, he's a senior. Yes, they got a few years. Yeah. But yeah, they're obviously like best friends, and who knows, maybe with that kind of age gap, they have a different kind of bond where they're friends, but he was always like her protector. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of a weird age. But yeah,
I was actually 4 years older than my sister. Actually, my bad. But yeah, she's telling her Stacy is telling her Stacy has friends.
He's a little prick.
See, he ruins his reputation. Like he could have just fucking manned up, and she already wanted to do it anyway.
Is this apartment complex like a fucking motel?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It looks like a shitty motel.
Oh yeah.
Playing the fucking Go-Go's. Right? Is that what they're playing right now? I can't tell.
You know what I realized something about myself? The fucking song "Goodbye to You" by who sang that? Fucking
Goodbye to you.
Goodbye to you. Goodbye to you. I remember the good times, babe. I forget who sings that.
Is that like Belinda Carlisle? Oh, maybe it is. I'm gonna look it up.
I think it's Roxette. But that song fucking slaps. It is infectious to me. I could listen to that on repeat. Oh, they came up on Spotify. I technically had been getting a little danked, but that should not cloud your judgment. Like, fucking, you might think like, well, you were danked, so everything. Like, it is in my blood, baby.
It is Roxette. You are right.
They had multiple great songs. Fucking that. What was the
Mario Brothers? That Mario Brothers movie song. Like, and love when you do that hocus pocus to me.
Yeah. I was thinking more like what was the one? The fucking
their big hit was their biggest hit. The fuck is it called?
It was a
It's over now. It's that one.
It's over now.
It must have been love, but it's over now.
Good.
Yeah, so his reputation is all over the city because she, her friend was taking it upon herself to fucking smear little prick all over his locker and spread the rumors around because we all knew that bitch. And look, his friend knows. And look, he's selling it, man. She's
technically not being a bitch.
No, you're right. He did it differently. But look at Rat. He's selling it, man. He's legit acting like he looks red in the face. He looks like he's been betrayed in all kinds of. Because dude, not only did he fuck his guy's friend, he got her pregnant. He like he said. He finished the job, man. He wasn't getting it done. He just swoops in like literally the next fucking day, and then in one punch, man, knocks her up, man. Look at that. They're really ready to fight. Like, is that what people do? They put up their dukes, man. This looks like Fred the Hammer.
He has a great line when he walks away, like, I was in such a good mood today. Like, the idea of him being angry.
I woke up in such a good mood. Yeah.
The idea of him being angry about it never even crossed his mind.
And look at this. Why would he wake up in a great mood? I don't know what the hell happened. Why would you wake up in a great mood the day after all this shit? Dude, that just shows you how carefree he is.
Exactly.
Mr. Vargas, their biology teacher, man, he's awesome. I always think of him as, well, he played the organ grinder in Batman Returns with the monkey. Right?
Chad.
And he also played the villain, Dr. Hellman, in Corpse Killer, that Sega CD 32X game, right? The guy that was creating the zombies on that island.
Yeah.
Like the island of Dr. Monroe type thing.
That guy's one of those character actors. It's like you never remember their name, but like they're always known for playing certain roles. Yeah.
And he passed away not too long after like Batman Returns, sometime in the 90s. He died.
This scene, I realized how great this scene is while I was watching it.
They don't do this anymore. They used to do shit like this.
They did used to do this, but like this also serves such, like this really sums up the whole movie. Ultimately, the reason we're going through these times when we're like in high school, like these, okay, I guess it's time to buckle down. Like fucking my whole life said, I mean, there's that scariness and everything. It's because we know eventually we're going to be dead. And it's like, we are limited our time here. And it's like, that's deep. That's when you're thinking of like, what are you going to do with your life? Like, exactly. Very Chad shit.
Righteous bucks. Spicoli, man. That $30 is a lot to a kid, especially probably in that 1982. That was probably like $70 in 2003 money or whatever it was when I was in high school.
That chick behind them is rocking the Pat Benatar look pretty well.
Yeah, she's in that group, that Pat Benatar clique.
That Stacy shit.
Love is a battlefield.
She's a big Stacy. That guy next to Spicoli reminds me of Josh Scoggin, the old vocalist from Norma Jean.
Well,
that went on to be in The Chariot.
That's Arnold, who got Brad fired. He took a piss and he was taken over for him. You know what's funny is we always see the same kids recycled. Like, don't you think we'd see some? Isn't it possible that we'd go to this class and it would be a bunch of people's faces we've never seen? But it's the Pat Benatar chick we were introduced to at the cafeteria. It's Arnold, Brad's friend. I mean, I guess there is a couple of people back there that we haven't seen before, but I went to a big high school, so it was very common for me to have like different people in every class.
Yeah. That scene right there where he pulls out the heart and he goes, as you can see, it's actually in the middle of the chest. I'm surprised by how many people don't seem to know that when I bring it up, and it's like, fucking, I don't remember hearing that. I'm like, it's in one of the greatest, most iconic fucking films ever. They set the record straight. Like, could the film be wrong? And I'm just fucking.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's in the middle of the chest, but isn't it like just left to center? That's what it is.
Maybe like just.
Because, I mean.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like left. It's like center, but I don't know. Who knows? Who gives a shit?
Exactly. Zach. Fucking biologist, definitely.
But that was a good scene though, because Rat, he still was a nice guy, and he chased after her to make sure she was okay, even though she just aborted his fucking bastard friend's baby. Fucked up.
Oh. Well, like fucking I mean, it's a bad thing that didn't have to happen, but like hopefully that's what's good about it, is that maybe they get they're the exception to the rule where it's not complete. There's still hope.
Yeah, they leave it off to where it's like, you know, they're in a relationship. Who knows? Maybe they got married.
That's kind of like the overall message. Like when things start wrapping up, it's kind of like there's hope. Everybody's arc kind of like.
Look, you always had that one nerd kid that worked hard for his grades that would get offended when a hot chick would cheat off his paper. But, you know, most of the time, if a hot chick wanted to like scope an answer from you, you'd let her, because it's like, oh man, if I give her this answer, maybe that's like a percentage point increase that she might suck my dick one day. You used to think like that as a kid, like, but of course didn't happen.
But then if she got down and said, "I will suck your dick," you'd be like, "What?"
Yeah, exactly. Like when they just give it, dude. It was two chicks. Which, oh man, I could have had that scenario at a. Well, no, so you don't want to have those situations too young in life, man. They'll fuck you up. I think they'll fuck you up.
It's hard telling. Yeah,
because I clearly wasn't ready for stuff like that. I mean, I don't even know if who knows what would happen.
It's probably better if we wait till we're ready. We should just stop trying to make people feel guilty if they haven't yet.
Can you imagine if somebody was not prepared or even biologically ready, and that was your first experience, and it was like, well, I don't really know. It's like, I kind of liked it, but the plumbing wasn't working. You know, it would fucking confuse the fuck out of you, I think. It probably wouldn't be a good.
that scene where he like, oh dude, I'm so high, and he's like, how high are you? And he's like, listen, and then
That's
he
my
fucking hits
skull.
like I have been that high where that makes sense. Like fucking like doing that would make sense, but
Mr.
it's like
Hans.
you know that doesn't make sense.
I love it.
Genius.
Looking
Okay,
at all these.
this movie's very red pilled in real life.
It goes by fast too. The movie's only like 85 minutes long. It's not long. It's super.
It seems like we just fucking started.
It's really quick, and we're at the end, man. We're almost to the part. You know, Spicoli's gonna be going to the prom, and then all of a sudden we're gonna jump to Brad's new job at the gas station, and it's gonna be like, you know, him stopping the burglar.
What do you think of Almost Famous? Would you say that's one of those 10 out of 10s?
I watched it once. I watched it like 4 or 5 years ago. So when you're 35, 4 or 5 years ago feels like yesterday. So I consider that recent. But I watched it a handful of years ago, and I really liked it. I don't think it's a 10 out of 10. I don't know if I can't call it a 10 out of 10. I don't give movies 10 out of 10s usually on the first go. So I'd have to rewatch it again. But it was good.
It's got everything. Fucking my boy Philip Seymour Hoffman's even in it.
Except I broke my rule. I was telling I watched that fucking Grave of the Fireflies. I gave that a 10 out of 10 immediately, and I have no regrets. I have no thoughts about changing it. Like I've never been so sure about a movie in my life because I said,
look, they got Weezer to play. That's cool.
Yeah, it's like a Buddy Holly looking dude. I can't wait to do that movie though for a cinema though. I don't want you to read about it. I don't want you to read anything about it.
Yeah, that's kind of why I diverted. And let's not talk about it for a cinema. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's a fucking dude. It just carved every inside out of my body. It's pretty intense. But I heard you talking on a Mac and Zach episode, I think, or a stream that I wasn't on, because even when I don't join a stream, I end up watching them later. I always watch them. And you had said something like you were glad, or you were kind of hoping, like, because it was on the topic of we don't really have enough time. Even all the movies I have on my shelf, I'll never have enough time to watch all in my lifetime. So you're kind of glad that I was making you watch certain movies you'd probably never put priority on to watch. So like stuff like the Ghibli. So it's I'm happy to do it. So like that's why it's like, okay, so now I'm gonna like have that mindset going forward. But oh
yeah.
But this particular movie,
that's kind of what my mindset was making it from the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah. So
movies, I think, yeah, just
because you never would have watched Perfect Blue, right? Probably not, or something like that, but anyway. All right. So yeah, he learns this. You'll find out next year when I pass your class.
Yeah, that's a funny line. And you know what's funny too is I remember, like, did you ever get held back?
No.
Ever? I did. I got held back in 5th grade, and like I always thought, like I didn't realize that like you literally get held back. Like I just got like I got held back because like I was so like I literally like let just not caring go full blown. Like I was falling asleep and shit like that, and that like. I got held back, and I always like hated the teacher for it. Like I would see the teacher, and I'd be like, "Fucking," I'd never say hi to her. But then, like, I found out recently that like my mom was like, basically that's how it works. They don't just hold you back. You go to the parents talk about it.
Yeah,
they talk about it.
I was gonna say, well, in high school they can. In high school, you have to have credits. And what grade were you in? I'm sorry, 5th.
5th
yeah,
grade,
when it's before high school, your parents have to make that decision and stuff. Like they'll have the conferences and stuff like that. But I was going to say that before you did, like your mom. But you know, as a parent, it's one of those things where you might do that to your kid too. To the kid, it seems like the lowest fucking blow in the world. Like, how could you do this to me? Like, you're making me leave all my friends. Because when you're in those lower grades, you really are getting left behind with all your friends. Mm-hmm. It's just, you're never. And in fact, it might even feel weird when you finally catch up in high school. And then it's just weird. But yeah, but maybe as a parent, if they're talking to you like, look, he really needs it. If we put him forward now, it's like it just might cause problems later or whatever. Maybe she's just making the best decision she thought at the time.
Yeah, definitely. Right here, look, she's literally, we're seeing Phoebe Case. This is the conclusion of her story arc. She's crying because like fucking she basically, the guy called it off, and like that might be a realizational type of moment that we're seeing both the characters talk to each other. She's probably like Stacy, Jennifer Jason Leigh, is probably now more experienced than fucking Phoebe Cates ever Even like just like that might have all been an act. And
the
like
student has become the master, but she's
yeah.
on that dance floor though, man. Now she's free game, man. She's open season.
Was that her dancing right there? That was like big cum inducing.
She was dancing with a second ago, yeah, on the dance floor. Looked like she's pretty happy. Wole boy. Look, they're playing that song by Tom Arnold.
That song that's on the beginning of Big Bully.
Wole boy.
And Black Flag covered it a couple times.
Wole boy. Wole boy.
Why is the bully so woolly though?
I don't know.
What makes him woolly? Is it taking place in like the Yoshi's Woolly World, that game?
Mm. Look, Damone's there, everybody's there, but look, it all ends good because everybody's having a good time.
Josh Goggin was there, having a good time.
I'm just saying, like they've all made amends, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rat and everybody made amends and all this stuff, and they're all having a good time, and it all comes to a head, and they're all. It's kind of like that Billy Joel song, realized on film, because there's that Billy Joel song in the late '80s that was "This Is the Time," right? And it was basically used as. Everybody used it as like a prom dance and a senior song, but it's basically this is the time to remember, this is the time to hold on to because, although you want to, you won't be able. It's basically like live in the moment. You're a kid, and it's kind of like that realized on film because I don't know. I think it's just everybody like, yeah, you know what? We're kids. This is our last hurrah. Maybe they realize this is it. This is as good as it's going to get. After this, we're going to go to college, have to get jobs, and probably will be knocking up people for real.
For a lot of people, like 90% of people, at least 98 whatever percent, like you're gonna be happy. You're not gonna be as happy as you were when you had nothing to care about.
But you spend so much time wanting shit that you don't realize you don't need or whatever.
Yeah, like you just gotta you gotta realize it's just like we have so much time.
When you think about it, I mean, like my childhood was less than glamorous, so I don't miss it. But there are little moments there where it's like you wish you could go back, and it's like
that's probably true for most people too.
Yeah, there's like little moments, and I mean like the little moments where you're just playing a video game on a Saturday and no one's giving you a hard time, and you just actually have a moment to yourself where.
Not exactly true to the same, but like to an extent.
I just mean that you're so young to a point where you're literally not thinking about death or life. You're not thinking about anything like, well, and even if death exists, you're so far on one side of the spectrum to where it's like, oh, it literally, I don't even have to think about this because it's never going to happen to me. It's so far, then you get to be in your 30s and you're like, you know what? To some, I could be middle-aged. Even though I don't consider middle-aged to be 40s when I consider to be middle-aged, but technically, man, we got fuckers dying under 70. It's like
my dad died at 50. Fucking that means that he was middle-aged in his fucking late 20s, early 30s. That's so fucked up to think about.
So, and my dad, when did my dad die? My dad died in 2011. So my dad died 10 years ago. And I'm less than 10 years away from the age, like 44. My dad died when he was 44. I'm going to blink and I'm going to be 44. And that's going to be a mind fuck if I make it to that age. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm 44 at the same age my dad died.
You're probably going to feel guilty. There's probably going to be some guilt that comes with that.
Well, he was a fucking asshole. I mean, I don't feel guilty, but
I mean, it's probably a psychological thing that'll happen to most.
But it's going to feel weird, and it'll feel weird if I turn. I guess I'm going to have this weird feeling like, oh god, I'm on borrowed time, like until I hit 45.
See, this is great too. Like he like his arc ultimately like pays off, and even Spicoli, like the guy that seemed like a dead end guy, he technically help save the day a bit here. So there's always hope.
Awesome. Totally awesome. Way to go, Hamilton.
Oh, yeah.
You think Spicoli wouldn't know anybody's fucking name? Like he's such a stoner. Like I don't know. Like I know that dude, but he knew Hamilton. Way to go, Hamilton.
Hey, Chad.
Oh, all right, Hamilton. My bad. Yeah, and this is where we kind of get the epilogue. Brad Hamilton, main manager of the MT Mart.
Do you always notice how they're reversing and replaying the shot there because the take wasn't long enough? Like he's rewinding and then replaying. Yeah, he's doing it. I always notice it every time.
Do they all do it?
No, just him.
Oh shit! No, I never noticed that.
If you're reading it, you won't.
It would be
notice.
funny if everybody's did that. They'd be like, okay, well, it's whatever. Look, now she's living with her normal psych professor. Yeah, she's that chick.
Chad.
Rat and Stacy having a passionate love affair, but still haven't gone all the way.
Fucking what a dork.
I love how it's given all these weird arbitrary dates as if they mean anything to us. He made manager on June 16th. Like, okay, what the fuck? June 16th.
They literally did the same ending in Mallrats. It's kind of like a homage to it. It's the same font and everything.
Save Brooke Shields from drowning. Blew his reward money on hiring Van Halen to play his birthday party. Awesome.
That's the biggest Chad move anybody could have done. But I like this too, where it's like it's almost like they're using the ends of takes they didn't use or deleted scenes, where it's just like fucking them closing. Or they might have shot this with we're gonna play this during the end credits. It works perfectly though.
Oh yeah, them closing up shop and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it kind of feels like it was intentional.
Probably, yeah.
Because like, where would this have fit in the movie where they're all closing up the stores in the mall?
But like, well, I was mentioning that they do it in Mallrats, but in Mallrats they do that thing where it's like, oh, the William finally saw the sailboat, and like the guy in the background, he goes, yeah. And every time I watch this movie, I think this is that movie. Like at some point, one of these actors acknowledges, like breaks the third wall and acknowledges what it says on the screen, but it's the wrong movie.
I love that at the end too, because I like the arcade culture and the Atari culture and all that stuff. Because they had that at the beginning too at the arcade, right? Play me? Yeah.
Curtis. His name was Curtis Spicoli. What a lame-o. That's a lame name. What a
No,
dork.
that's the brother. His name's Jeff Spicoli. That's his little brother.
That's not even a lame name. What the fuck
Yeah,
is
but
lame
Curtis
about?
is his little brother. I don't hear you unless you knock. That's better. Entree. Mr. Hand. Okay.
Spicoli's kind of cool. I would hang out with Spicoli.
He is really cool, man. And it's funny because I think people that are none the wiser and they don't realize this movie existed or whatever, they don't realize that's Sean Penn, because I watched this with the lady for the first time for her, and she didn't recognize him. And then we were watching something later on with Sean Penn, like much later, like fucking from this decade, and you don't recognize him. You don't know who that is. Like, no, we just watched a movie with him this week, and she still couldn't put it together. And then I had to do the all right Hamilton. It's like, oh, that guy, like, yeah, he never played this type of character ever again. But he does look identical in Bad Boys, though. He looks the same. Well, this movie rules. Are we gonna read? Let's read some comments. I love this.
That's at least a 9 out of 10.
I think it's a 10 out of 10. It ticks all the boxes because it's super quotable. It's super memorable. Every scene is iconic to me. It's a time capsule. I've grown up watching it, and
you know what's funny is
it's timed. It's got iconic scenes. It's only like 85 minutes. It's just there's nothing that hurts this flick. Go ahead.
This was always a movie I wanted to get on Blu-ray, but like it was always like, oh, it'll always be there. I don't have to worry about fucking Fast Times going out of print. So it was just never high priority. But finally I got it. And it was just 3 months ago, and if I would have only waited, I could have got the Criterion.
Oh, yeah, the Criterion. So, but no, now it's already been basically rumbling out there that a 4K is coming out from the actual distributor, like not Criterion. And who knows, Criterion might put out one too, because they're doing that shit now too. They're making you double dip. But I bought the Criterion knowing, like, you know what? I keep hearing about they're going to do an anniversary edition next year, because it'll be the 40th anniversary, right? So that's what they're waiting on. But I'm like,
fucking Crackle.com, get on the fucking the shot on Crackle, fucking straight to Crackle, fucking the sequel. Phoebe Case is back, fucking Sean Penn.
But
we can film it from our homes because the COVID, and we can work it into the script. It'll be fantastic.
But this movie, though, is it really going to look much better on 4K? It's a real grainy movie. It's got a lot of inconsistent, frames and shit like that. It looks real.
They can always make a movie look newer, but technically, when you're at the point where the movie is shot on film, and that grain you're seeing is literally the film running, like the only way they can like make the movie look any new is basically artificially making it blurry so that you can't see the grain. So basically, yeah, it's just like at some point, like before a certain time, before before HD cameras, is like there's only so far they can take these older movies.
I always just think about my Ghostbusters 4K and Ghostbusters 1984, and that's a real dark, grainy movie. It looks like ass in the 4K. I mean, I would rather watch the Blu-ray, to be honest with you. They just took it a step too far.
If it's not just the same, transfer, then they probably just screwed up the transfer on that one.
That might be because it just doesn't look good. But anyway, I'm going to read some comments. I think we got quite a bit. I feel like it's been a little while since we read some comments, so I'll try and read some here. On our Aftermath commentary, 1994, Silhouetted Animator says, one person who thumbed down was offended by the bye comment. Did we must have said something. I don't remember what we said.
Fucking yeah, I mentioned that. That's actually a funny joke when you think about it, because the subject matter of that movie is literally a guy working at a morgue having sex with a corpse, and then if that's what they got, because the comment I made was when it's a dead body, do you care if it's a man or a woman? Is it one of those things? Is it like the fucking the weird pedophile thing where it's just that it's a kid?
I mean, when rigor mortis is set in, can you really tell the difference between a pussy hole and an asshole? I mean,
Chad.
All right.
A true Shad can't.
On our Beethoven commentary, the one and only Adrian Mendoza, he says, I really hope you guys get a chance to speak with Charlie Talbert. That's Angus. That would be Donk. WTF, what the fuck is wrong with Zach in this episode? He kept forgetting names and would go on tangents that went nowhere.
He kept forgetting names. That's always wrong with me.
But it's he kept forgetting names and he would go on tangents that went nowhere. He seemed scatterbrained. I thought he was having a mini stroke. Was Zach high in this episode? What's wrong, baby? And there's a part 2 to this, but I want to say, I think Zach, ever since his whole dank to dust commentaries with Mac, you are now a pot smoker, right?
I am not always high. It happens occasionally.
And he says Bonnie Tyler is that bitch. She's great. So Stacy? I think, does he mean Bonnie Hunt?
I am trying to make the high the part of my humor, though. I'm trying to always seem that way because I think it works well for me.
This must have been what you've been talking about, Adrian, because I've been reading his question and you're still talking about that. We're past that. Okay, but he says Bonnie Tyler is that bitch. I think he means Bonnie Hunt, who played Grodin's wife. She's great. Stanley Tucci is always a reliable character actor. He's always awesome in whatever role he's in. Black Widow was just okay, very meh. I thought the Loki TV show was 10 times better story, acting, and special effects. I recommend checking out Loki. I'm still marveled out. I mean, I might watch it eventually.
I low-key want to check out Loki because of our boy's fucking dank-ass recommendation. I do.
I'm really over Marvel, but they got me with Spider-Man. I'm sorry.
I'm never going to watch that, actually, yeah.
I do want to see Spider-Man, though. They got me. Because I'm going to go into that with low expectations because I feel like they're going to fuck it up.
I might watch Spider-Man just because of Zendaya. She big Stacy.
But but like I said, they're doing the multiverse thing. They got Alfred Molina, Doc Ock in there. They're going to have a Willem Dafoe. Can Spider-Man come out to play? And we all know all the Spideys are going to be there. The Garfields and the fucking Maguires. They just haven't revealed that yet. And it's going to have they're blending all 3 Spider-Man movie universes. I feel like it's scary because this feels like a clusterfuck. They're not going to be able to balance this all out in a movie that's 2.5 hours long. And maybe a lot of these people are barely going to have any role in the movie. And that would be a shame. But let's see if they can do it right. They do have my interest peaked. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to read our little stream comments.
Would be a great joke to put in there. Bring it, make it meta, and make it fucking in this mirror universe. There's a version of Evil Dead that was directed by fucking the guy that played the kid on Happy Days or something. Fucking
Ron Howard.
Bring it into the meta, the director of the fucking the old movies.
I don't think it's going to go this far, but a lot of people are having fun with the theories on what they could do since they're the multiverse. They're like, oh man, they could, because they're already going to bring in Willem Dafoe and Doc Ock from the Sam Raimi movies.
Make a Willem Dafoe. It's a fucking mirror. You got to do that joke.
But they're bringing them in from the Raimi universe. They're bringing in Jamie Foxx, Electro, and people already predict that the person they see in the trailer is the Lizard. That would be from the Mark Webb trilogy, 2 movies with Garfield. But it's also going to have, whatever. But anyway, some people are already having fun with it. Man, they could do anything. What if they brought in, it's also predicted they're bringing in Sandman too from Raimi. So Thomas Hayden Church, Lowell, as you know him. But what's funny though is somebody's like, man, they should bring in Bruce Campbell to play Mysterio, because Bruce Campbell was going to play Mysterio in Sam Raimi's 4th movie that didn't get made. which is too bad for Bruce Campbell because how often does he get to be in a big fucking tentpole movie like that? You know what I mean? And he would be so good in any movie like that as like a cheeky like villain and he would be great. And it never got. And people were like, man, this is what if he's able to continue his Raimiverse in this weird split timeline, even though they already had Jake Gyllenhaal play Mysterio. I'm like, I think it's going a little too far, but that would fucking be awesome.
I mean, like, you can't like downplay the impact of nerd culture. Like fucking, they could easily make like meme type of stuff like that could easily.
Because Sam Raimi is directing the new Doctor Strange movie, which is weird, and Bruce Campbell's in the movie. We don't know the role he has, but that could just be people are like already having fun with that because the Doctor Strange movie is clearly going to set up what happens in Spider-Man because he helps cause the whole multiverse with his spells and all that shit. And people are like, well, he could just be in it because Sam Raimi puts Bruce Campbell in every movie. It could be as simple as that. But also it's like, what if it's part of like the multiverse thing and it's one of the Bruce Campbells from the Spider-Man universe getting like crossed and he ends up being in the Spider-Man movie? I think that's all wishful thinking, but it would be fucking rad if he was. But anyway,
it's weird whenever you think that like these people who fucking made these great movies they're not trying to fucking just make your entire dreams come true with like how they make their new like fucking that would just be so amazing if you did that. And it's like if we told them that and like could we convince them that that's a good idea or is it
because there's also like anticipation that they're going to blend the TV universe because they had the Marvel TV shows on Netflix that were supposed to be different. Like because people love the guy that played Daredevil a lot, Charlie Cox. And I thought he was awesome too. Like, man, I can't imagine anybody else playing Daredevil. So people are like, well, this is their opportunity to blend the TV universe too. And, you know, there's people speculating that he's in the trailer somewhere. And they got, what's his face to play Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin. What's his name? Full Metal Jacket. They should
call him Mr. Fister. That's a fucking better name than Mr. What did you call him?
You know, remember that band? Take My Broken Wings and Learn to Sister. Was it Mr. Mister? That band?
Mr. Mister.
Take these broken wings and learn to fly. They should have been Mr. Fister.
Don't forget about Sister with them Stacy's, Tamara, and fucking
Tia Mowry. I thought you were going to say Taj Mowry. That's Stacy Taj. No, but why can't I think of his name? What's his name? He was in Men in Black. Sugar in Water. What's his name? Vincent D'Onofrio. He plays Kingpin, and he's so good. So it's like, man, they just. And I know they've been lobbying, like he's been lobbying, like I'll be, you know, so it's like just put them in the movies. The fans want these people in the movies if you're going to have it. The actors clearly want to do it. You'd be an asshole just to not let them do it. But and this is the way to get it all done. And they've already got, what's it called? J. Jonah Jameson. He's already back. It's like another version of him, but it's the same actor, but it's all fucked up. Except now he's playing Alex Jones type. Go ahead.
That's one I would like to do is Men in Black, the original.
Yeah, that'd be fun. We should. Silent Hill 2. I'm going to read these Retro Rampage comments because I don't feel like we will ever get to them otherwise. Silent Hill 2 Part 3. Mendoza says all roads lead to Limp Bizkit. It's true. There's probably some parables in the Old Testament that reference the future coming of Limp Bizkit.
Did you see that they're on the verge of leaking new songs? There's a new album.
Yeah, so they had that one song they played at Lollapalooza. Dad Vibes.
Ready for the dad rock.
Dad Vibes. It's called Dad Vibes. But anyway, he said like yesterday online, Fred Durst said, very, very, very soon you're going to start getting a leak of every song. We're just going to start putting them out fast. And then really soon after that, we're just going to drop the new album. So I guess it's done.
Why aren't they like just as memeable like as that All-Star song is, like Smash Mouth? Like they literally should be that. I don't know why they're not.
I mean, maybe they have a shot at coming back and being kind of relevant. I think when you become Smash Mouth meme, it's like you're too far gone. You're a meme now. You are so 90s. You're a relic. But who knows, man? Like I said, now Limp Bizkit hasn't had albums. They don't come out with albums anymore. And the last one came out so long ago. Since Gold Cobra came out, there has been this weird renaissance in this big lull of time where all the people that loved Limp Bizkit and then for like 15 years denied ever liking Limp Bizkit have all come to the realization that, yeah, Limp Bizkit was pretty good. And we can admit freely that we all liked it. Now everybody's comfortable with admitting that. Now, who knows? There might be more of an embrace now that they come back. Like, okay, we'll see if you guys buy the album.
Isn't there something beautiful in acknowledging that sometimes you like cornball shit?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that. There's something great about that.
Who is it that said that? Is it Chino? Chino did an interview fairly recently in the past year.
I hope he said that because I thought I just thought of that.
No, basically, no. Chino did an interview last year when their new album came out, and they of course asked him about the whole new metal movement and how they felt about getting lumped in with that stuff. He's like, look, and I think his stance on them was the same as always. Like, we don't want to be lumped in with anything. We just did our thing, and they were asking about stuff like Limp Bizkit and stuff like that. He's like, look, Limp Bizkit, was it stupid? Yeah, but he's like, it's totally okay to like stupid shit. He's like, it's like some of that stuff was. I like a lot of stupid shit. If it's catchy and you enjoy it, I acknowledge that some stuff is stupid. But it's like, it doesn't have to not be stupid. You know what I mean? But he was making a lot of points. Like, oh,
I felt there was a bit of a weight lifted when I realized that I could admit that, like, fucking, I like $3 bill, y'all, and it's like, fucking, there's no shame in that. It's really weird. It's really weird.
You know, it's okay that I want to take a shot to the mouth. It's fine. It's almost like, yeah, I know.
Fucking hell yeah.
It shouldn't be that kind of internal dialogue with yourself to admit you like Limp Bizkit.
Yeah. For some reason, it was a stigma for a while.
But you have a lot more clarity too. Like, you know what? I'm being true with myself. I like this, but you're also true all across the board. Where it's like, I don't like all of it. Like, I think Significant Other sounds fucking awesome. It's a great sonic. I think it just sounds awesome when they produce. Like, it just, I don't know. They struck lightning with the production, the sonics, and $3 Bill's fun. But even like, there's some stupid shit on Significant Other, but it's a great album. I like, it's a time capsule. But I'm like, I'm the first person to say that the Hot Dog album, there's a couple of good tracks, but it's not very good. It's just like, we could
talk about those old 90s albums that are like, they have shit on them because they always had to make sure it was over an hour or whatever. But like, fucking, there were those couple that still, despite having shit, they still hold up. Like, Follow the Leader has shit on there. But overall, I think it holds up. Like, fucking, it literally has All in the Family with Fred Durst.
But that's how fast Limp Bizkit rose, is because they blew up with Significant Other, which is a great record, and just 2 years later they put out an album where it's like, wow, this is literally Fred Durst believing his own hype. Like, just some of the songs he was trying to attempt, it's like, dude, this is like, he was singing ballads. Like, The One, what the fuck is that? It's terrible. The lyrics are shit. He's trying to croon his way through a song. None of it's good. And I watched that. I sent you guys that video of that MTV release party. Did you guys watch it? Did you guys check it out? Mm-hmm. I sent the video. Yeah, it's a release party. That's how big of a deal Limp Bizkit was. And everybody's it's at the Playboy Mansion. It's this big MTV special about the record release party for Hot Dog. And everybody's there. Like, Justin Timberlake, the biggest celebrities in the world are there. I'm like, dude, isn't it funny how they're talking about Fred Durst as if he's Elvis, and it blows my mind that just a few years later, nobody was inviting him to parties. Dude, you probably wouldn't even get an honest answer. Like, do you remember Fred Durst? I don't know that guy. It's when you watch this special, it's like watching an episode of Twilight Zone. Like, I can't believe this. I mean, during this era, I remember when Mission Impossible 2 came out, and they were doing stuff on the soundtrack. And Tom Cruise was getting set up for an interview with Access Hollywood or Entertainment Tonight or something like that. And they had surprised him with Fred Durst doing the interview. So when they entered the room, it was Fred Durst. And even Tom Cruise is like, "What's up, Durst? Like, what's up?" And they're doing the interview like they're homies. I'm like, dude, it'd be funny to in 2021 to go up to Tom Cruise like, "Hey man, when's the last time you called Fred Durst over for a barbecue?" Like, I don't know who the fucking guy is. It's so funny. But it's like, it's like watching an episode of Twilight Zone. It's really cool.
Every time someone says Fred Durst, anytime the word Durst is mentioned and he's referred to as Durst, I always think of that line from Joe Dirt. "I'm going to take a Fred. Don't forget to wash your Durst."
Yeah.
I just change it with his name.
But they were like premiering new songs in this thing. And dude, they were singing like The One, like hanging out by the fucking grotto. And I'm like, this is cringe as fuck. And everybody's like feeling it. And I have to think like, man, are the people really digging this? Is it like rose-colored gold? Because it's like, they all have to be watching this 5, 10, 15, 20 years later. Like, that is not good. Why did we ever really think that was good? But anyway, he just took it too far. They should have explored their sound in a different way. Mm-hmm. But anyway, better watch out. Comments. All roads do lead to Limp Bizkit, Mendoza. You keep bringing them up. We'll keep going off on a tangent about them. Better watch out. Commentary. Eris Shaolin. I don't know, but they're saying Tariq Asu. I don't know what that means. And then they correct.
They are a Shaolin monk. They are from that video game.
I'm guessing they made a typo because they made another comment that changed it and it says Tariq Asu, as if I'm going to understand it with the correction. I don't know, but thank you for listening.
Shit.
All right, and Silent Hill 2 Part 3, we got Mendoza as well. He says, listen to Morbid Angel Dominate song, and it's interesting. That's the one I recommended. I'm not a metalhead like you guys, but it was interesting. I started to enjoy it 48 seconds into the song. Good.
Dog.
I love it, man. Where the Slime Live, man. Track 2, using that 7-string guitar before it was hip.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Let's see. That's Mac and Zach. EC. What is this? That's a live hang. I'm going to read this. Live hangs with the baby batter boys. That's Mac and Zach, I take it.
Mm-hmm.
Blocko69 said Mac should get gold fronts and cornrows. Love the output, Blood Brothers. Okay.
That's fucking, just play up the meme. Hell yeah. We'll both be fucking SoundCloud rappers for the meme.
Clifford commentary. Zakito15 says, thanks for the request. He had requested this one, so you're welcome. And he says also, Mary married Ted blackface dancing. Oh, you're right. Mary Steenburgen married Ted Danson, and he did that blackface when he was dating Whoopi Goldberg, man, that he gets a pass from. That's a classic blackface. But he's doing it with Whoopi. So it's almost like, does he get a pass? How does it work?
Exactly.
Is it because you have the approval of one person of color? Does that mean that one person of color speaks for every person of color? I would think that would be offensive. You'd think. I don't know.
Yeah, you're never gonna have everybody's approval, baby.
Anyway, that's funny. That's Cinema Enema. Just remind us we have more of those to catch up on. Doom Part 2 on the Retro Rampage. Gio Kalunga says, hey guys, I haven't been able to keep up with the podcast as much since work is getting strict with the earbud rule, but I recently caught up with these Retro Rampages at home and have had a great time. Keep it up, boys. I've also began collecting Blu-rays. Do you guys have any tips when buying for a beginner? $5 bins are your friend. Like if you don't have any Blu-rays at all, like if you've never really started collecting, just go to, then I don't know if you care about having the latest and greatest version and all the special features. If you just want to pad that collection, go to Best Buy. They always have like a $5 bin up front, and it's just a bunch of just basic movies thrown in there. But there are usually a lot of classics.
I haven't jumped on board with 4K yet, so literally my only thing I do is I like if a new movie comes out and I like it, or just a movie I want on Blu-ray, I'll put it in my wish list and fucking periodically go through it and wait for, like I usually buy everything whenever it gets below like $10, but then like special occasions I'm like, I like that movie, I'll give it more than $10.
Yeah, well, another thing I would recommend too is, I guess it just depends on the kind of person you are. If you don't care about all the fancy frills and you just want to own the movie, yeah, go get the cheapest version you can of it. But if you think you're somebody that might leave some room for the future to advance to 4Ks, if it's a movie that's out on 4K, they always come with the Blu-rays typically anyway. Just spend the extra money and get the 4K, even if you don't have a 4K player or a TV yet. Just so, because I started buying 4Ks of newer movies, right? Because they were always getting released in 4K and heavily. I started buying the 4Ks about a year before I finally bit the bullet and got 4K, just because I knew I was going to get there eventually. But just try and figure out ways to not waste money, because if you're just now getting into Blu-rays, you're actually in a good spot, because some of us were collecting movies in the VHS days and we've had to rebuy the same movies over and over and over and over again. And we've dumped and wasted so much money. 4K is the last bastion. So you're in a situation where you could probably navigate the waters in a way to where you could limit your losses, you know,
assuming something crazy doesn't happen. 4K is the last bastion. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it probably is as far as physical media. But yeah, man, thank you for that. All right, so more Cinema Enema. That's really cool. Exploited Cinema, a lot of Cinema Enema. I'm glad you guys are liking the Cinema Enemas, by the way. Our new one that we just did with Land of the Dead turned out really good. I really enjoyed that. It's really great. Featuring Riverman.
I think that was the longest we spent on talking about the movie for the movie portion. The movie portion was longer than everything else.
Yeah, it was really cool. Well, that mix that with the fact that there's really no news.
Yeah.
And I had already shot my load. We had done 2 cinema enemas pretty close to each other, so I already shot my wad about talking about new movies we watched. You guys didn't really have much of anything, but yeah, but we still ended up getting a 2-hour episode out of it. So we still talked about the movie a lot. So it was a really good one. And Doom Part 2, Adrian Mendoza says, great stream, guys. Mac brought up public sex. Here is my story that I shared. Oh, man, I kind of don't want to read this, but I will. The story is this. I was studying at the downtown public library, and a young man walked by me. Zach is probably like, cue audio bites. Like he's going to start taking my recording like it's me saying this. A young man walked by me. We glanced at each other, but I didn't notice anything other than that he was a handsome young man. He walked by a second time, and the glance lasted longer, and he nodded. This time I knew that the handsome young Hispanic man was cruising for sex.
I wish it was that easy for straight people.
Yeah, why does it always seem like the gay community is very outgoing? And you know what I mean? Like with that stuff. It always appears that way. But yeah, women don't do that, man. Unfortunately. Anyway, but I guess if they were, would we really notice? Probably not. All right. He walked towards the bathroom. He knew I was staring at him. He looked down at me and nodded, then entered the bathroom. That's pretty obvious. I followed in after him. The bathroom wasn't the greatest, but he and I were the only ones in there. He was at the urinal pretending to pee. I walked over to the next urinal. I looked over, and he was slowly stroking his erect, cut manhood. This is getting tough to read.
You ever like think about that? I remember like I had a friend.
All right.
He was the guy that recorded us. He's like, because it's always such a weird situation anyway. You ever just like while you're peeing with next to a stranger, just go like,
nice stream,
oh, man. Just be like, hey man, that's a nice dick. And like fucking, he told me he did that, and like I was like, fucking, that is genius. Fucking, that's really big, Chad.
I reached over and gave him a hand. I told him that we should take this to the stall. We chose the largest stall at the end. The handicap stall? Inconsiderate. Yes. No, I'm just kidding. We all do it. Not what you're doing, but we all have used the handicap stall.
We've all done what he's doing too.
Okay. Okay. All right. I reached over. Yeah. Okay. Largest stall and began to embrace. I softly began to stroke his meat. I then dropped to my knees and worshipped his fully engorged phallic monster. He had hairy tuft of beautiful black pubic hair. I got to stop every 2 seconds. I can't keep a straight face. I can't read all of it at once. So I have a feeling you like to put a lot of this stuff in there because you know we read it, and in particular because I read it. I kind of should like start delegating Zach to read these ones because he's probably better at reading this shit, but I can't. Anyway, but that's all right. I'm in on it. I like reading this stuff to a degree. Moaning with pleasure. See, the thing is, you're writing it like a romance novel. That's where it's like, I'm not sure how serious it is. And if you're just taking the piss out of me because you want me to read this shit. Moaning with pleasure, the young man expelled his seed across the bathroom wall. All right, fucking J.R.R. Tolkien. That is some poetry. Why was it really that? Was it really that poetic, or was it more sleazy sex in a bathroom? You know?
He expelled his seed
across the bathroom wall. Said shame. I finished afterwards. After we made our mess, we thanked each other and left. We would come, quote unquote, into contact with each other a few more times afterwards, but that is a tale for another day. And, Zach commented, Big Chad.
Hell yes, I forgot about that. Hell yeah.
All right. But that is a tale for another day. All right. Can't wait.
Fuck it, I'm excited. Hell yeah.
All right. Castlevania, 1986, Retro Rampage. Mendoza again. He says, okay, Mac, The Suicide Squad is a great film. Aaron, you are right. TSS is very much a James Gunn film. That's Suicide Squad. A little sick and depraved. Aaron, the next time you have a sore throat, gargle with salt water. I hope you get to see GNR staying safe. I'm going to see Guns N' Roses Monday, actually. I follow David Capper on Instagram, and he is busy being a badass singer guitar player. I do miss his comments, though. By the way, it's good seeing Riverman. Glad he has a good time. He had a good time at the concert. So yeah, I think we brought up, we haven't heard from David Capper in a while, but
he's moved on, baby. He's having a bit, living his best life. We were holding him back, if anything.
There you go. Just go, man. Yeah. that whole scene.
It's one of those things. He'll probably show up one time and be like, "Oh man, I stepped away for a while, and look at all this shit that happened." But
Yeah.
very Chad.
And who knows?
Exactly.
Maybe, just because he's not commenting doesn't mean he's not listening.
Yeah.
You know? But but it could be that whole like dog movie thing. Just go, get out of here. Don't look at me. You're better off without me. All right, so more cinema anima. Texas chain that's exploited. Doom Part 3, Jetpack Wolf. That's Zach. The Illuminati end of the stream. There's been a lot of problems with the streams lately. Like it's happened a few times in recent days. Like it happened last night where Zach's power just went out.
My I don't know if it was just like the computer got hot. It just like it like resets, and like the first time it happened on that one, the Doom one, like it was like one of those things where like once a month, every once in a while, like it seems like during the middle of the night, something like that, like they just reset the power. It was one of those where it just went off and then came right back on. Weird.
Yeah, it fucking sucks. All right, you guys have some comments on a lot of Mac and Zach shit. BTM podcast, The Great Muppet Caper. Mendoza says, great episode, guys. I love Spam. So good. Try Misubi. It's steamed rice and a slice of Spam wrapped in seaweed. Near Dark is a great hidden gem of flick. And it's so funny because, and I actually had a comment on this. I'm like, the night before he put this comment, I tried Misubi for the very first time. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Get out of my head. And it was good. And Near Dark was great. I really liked it. It's a movie I can't believe I've never seen before because it just feels like that kind of movie I've been watching my whole life. I'm like, how did I never see this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It feels like one of those movies along with like Aliens or something that I've been watching since I was a kid. And it's good. It's not often.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that's how fucking Better Off Dead fucking felt when I watched that recently again. Very Chad.
Well, you'd at least seen that before, but it's like, how often do you come across a movie that feels like you've been watching this your whole life? You should have been, because it feels like a classic movie I would have been watching for decades. But anyway, enjoyed it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie, 1990 commentary. Disclosure, we redid this and we posted it a couple weeks back. It's video format because when we did it some years ago, it ended up getting blocked worldwide because Warner Brothers, for some reason, they got a hard on for us with this movie. They're just, they don't even, like, our audio commentary got blocked. And so anyway, we re-uploaded it. It turned out really good. We had a Silhouetted Animator says at the 40-minute mark, I heard Shredder's lust for feet is so extreme and nasty that even Tarantino would be like, dude, you're a freak. And
we talked about him having weird sexual fetishes. Yeah. Snatch my fetish.
Devin Dungan says, great commentary, guys. Yeah, we're stoked to do it, and we're happy that we have something up. We've been talking about redoing that one for a while. In fact, Zach made a good point. Like, we shouldn't necessarily be afraid to redo movies we love. I don't necessarily want to do that too crazy because I don't want to end up like competing with ourselves as far as algorithms.
The way the algorithm works is like if we have two, like we're never competing with ourselves. Like we just have more of a like if somebody's looking for that movie, they have more of a chance to land on either one of our movies that are about it. Like,
but what I would say though is no. But hold on, I think there is some merit to it because we're offering something different. I would like to do the other Turtles movies again. I'd like, even though those are on there, I'd like to do 2 and 3 again because now we have video, and there's just always stuff I forget to bring up. And when we did Turtles again, I'm like, there's stuff that I regretted not bringing up when we did it the first time. And I feel like with those kinds of movies, there's just a plethora of shit to go over and you can't go over it all. So it's kind of cool. And like I said, it's video. So it is something different, and it's not, who cares? It's years later. Like, hey, here's a commentary years later now. So I think we should consider a few things. When was it that we did it the last time? You know, that could play a role. And also, was it an underlooked video? Because I mean, there's even if what I was thinking was right, and it does hurt us in competing with ourselves in the algorithms. What if we're doing it because a lot of our best commentaries are ones that didn't get the best traffic, right? So, Nightmare on Elm Street 2, awesome, but it's not one of our biggest videos. It's buried, and it blows me away. So like, well, this one is kind of stunted and it's probably not going to get any more traffic. it wouldn't hurt, and that was years ago. It wouldn't hurt to redo Nightmare 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe we don't want to do Ken Park again because that one's going to go on to be a million people trolled. So it's like, okay, that one's living in its space. Well, maybe we should keep that there.
Because we know that though, like we could technically do it with video and maybe get some of those people standing or sitting there. Like, especially if we end up making a commentary highlights video.
Yeah. So there's different stuff that adds to it now. So I'm definitely open to it. I mean, I don't think we're at the point yet where we just need to like dip back into the well and just redo everything we've ever done before. We still want to do new shit. But yeah, there's like certain things. Like I really would love to do Turtles 2 and Turtles 3 again. So what would we call those? We'd have to title them differently, right? Like what?
We just put Take 2 at the end of it.
I almost kind of regret not numbering our episodes, from the start, because I don't know. I feel like it adds a little bit of clout because when you see a commentary or a podcast and you see like episode 500, because they always do like, oh, it's our 500th episode. Woo. I feel like we've hit all those milestones. We're not really giving ourselves the credit for it because we don't do that. I feel at the very minimum, we should do that for Cinema Enema because that's a little bit more of a traditional podcast. I think, and there's not that many of them to where it wouldn't be cumbersome to go in and edit them, but I'm tempted to go in there and be like, episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, and start actually announcing it as such. Cause at least, I don't know. I want to be able to make a hoopla when we hit like episode 50 of something. Exactly. But we've done hundreds of commentaries. How many commentaries have we done? Probably hundreds.
Yeah.
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 And that's the sad world we live in, though. Eventually, we are going to fucking drain the well on the classics, and we're going to have to like redo some shit or just do like a lot of new movies. But anyway, some of them deserve it.
That's why we're ready to branch out into DVDs that bands release with their certain albums.
And I also feel too that
I got a great idea. We need to get you and River on, and you guys do some kind of monster. Like, because even if you hate the documentary, that would be fun to listen to two guys that love Metallica just cum over fucking Metallica. Like,
and we would have a lot to talk about just because when Riverman and we met in middle school, but we didn't become like best friends until late middle school and like for freshman year and shit like that. And I got him into that stuff. So I was into like Metallica and Pantera, and I got him into that shit. And he was hardcore Puka Shell Necklace, Dave Matthews Band. And so he was like trying to pollute me with that stuff. But I ended up taking some of the stuff he likes. I took a little bit. He was really into Pearl Jam, and I wasn't really into Pearl Jam. And so I took a little bit of what he had, but he took a lot of what I had. And so we could talk a lot about just our high school days and shit like that and bonding over a lot of that stuff. But yeah, no, it's a funny documentary anyway. It's really quotable, so I would love to do it. And, but one other criteria we could consider as well for redoing commentaries is there, so I know we've done a couple where they were really good movies and for some reason or another, at least for me personally, they didn't turn out the way as good as I think they should have, whether it was from Mark IV Zach era where somebody fucking lost their shit and it turned into a fucking train wreck. Or maybe it was audio issues. Maybe it's just a good podcast, but we had some fucking scafu. We should also consider that.
We should totally redo Pet Sematary too. Fucking that was the first time we did a commentary all together.
Yeah, that one is so old.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? And that kind of is on trend too, because we've talked about Pet Sematary 2 so much on the show, even back in the first year of the show where it was just me and River and all that stuff. And we were talking about Pet Sematary 2 as far as a Halloween pod. It's kind of on brand to just kind of keep revisiting that one. Mm-hmm. And movies like Trick or Treats and, stuff like that. And anyway, no, good. Isn't it funny how I got all that out of just great commentary, guys? That's all he put on that Turtles commentary. But we hope you guys are liking the video stuff. I'm really liking it. I think it's really cool. I'm comfortable with it. I think Zach's getting a lot more comfortable with it. And I'm liking it. We're jumping into the 21st century finally. So the only thing better would be is if we all lived in the same state. If we all lived in the same city, man, I would legit dump some money in either making a room or a garage or a guest house into a legit podcast studio. And then everybody would just meet and we would have a table set up and the mics and we can have that would be fucking awesome, man. And I think the commentary, I don't know. Everybody always says like, oh man, podcasts are so much better when you're in person. Maybe, but like, I feel like we've been doing it like this since day one because we've never been in person. And even Todd, even like BTM when it first started, we were never in the same city. There were occasional videos where we like visit each other and stuff like that, and we'd make a home here. We'd have little shit, but for the most part, we're so used to doing stuff virtually that I feel we're pretty fluid. I don't think you can really tell. I mean, personally, and not to mention everybody's doing it like this right now. So we're just ahead of the game. Now everybody had to go to getting used to this that weren't doing it like this. But anyway, Bully Scholarship Edition. This is the one. This is part one, I guess. You don't have it labeled as part one, but I'm assuming it's part one because it's just you guys.
Usually when we do it the first time, we don't know if it's going to be a reoccurring one, so I don't use it. Usually
And
do that. Yeah.
Blocko 69 just says Wooly Bully. That's funny. Yeah. It's a wraparound to what we just saw in the movie. All right, Stephen Jeffries. Interview. This was the Lush. We have Patrick Pedro. You're so cool, Brewster. And he also says the master will kill you for this. He's quoting Evil Ed. It's funny. Let's see. Okay. Ooh, this is a really good one. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie commentary. Redux. What do we want to call this? Fucking The Return, Redux, whatever. Mark II. The second one we did. Carlos Arjan, he says, hey guys, I'm really glad you guys are revisiting these. The Turtles commentary was always one of my favorites. And so Carlos, I think, was one of the many people that would always bring up what happened to the Turtles commentary. Because this one we had to redo because it got removed, like I said. So yeah, anyway, he says, honestly, I'd love for you guys to redo the other three. Okay. Yep. Ancient Chinese secret.
I'd love to redo the heavyweights too.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of movies that I love that I'd love to redo.
Yeah, that would just have a new dynamic because we have video and stuff like that. But I also think we should also consider if we're redoing them, we should really try and get another person on that wasn't on. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if it was just me and you, let's make sure we bring a Mac in, or let's bring a Todd in, or shake it up, bring a Goat in. Let's try and make it as different as possible. Then I'm 100% down. Anyway, he says, excluding the Bay ones for obvious reasons. Don't do those. And he says, I'm still having hopes for a Rambo month. And Carlos Arjan, yeah, he's been asking for a Rambo month, and I fucking would love it. I'm not going to torture Zach. I think eventually we are going to do a Rambo month because I would love it. And it's just
that wouldn't torture me. I like the Rambo movies, all right.
They're fucking okay. So right now we're on this kick of just kind of doing really fun movies that we're all easy breezy and we all know like the back of our hands. I think doing a whole month dedicated to Rambo would go against that a little bit, just because I don't know if that's for Zach as far as like the back of his hand, but we're just taking a break from the theme months. But I think when we get back to it, that should be at the top of the list to come back and do a Rambo month, because that would kind of be a mix of both worlds, because I know those movies like the back of my hands. So it would be fun for me. And Riverman,
if you know them, like that's basically like I was thinking that like I pick one, you could pick one, and then like if there's one, it just as long as one of us knows it like the back of our hands. But
the last few movies we've done, we've just all known these. Like I know this movie, Zach knows this movie, Turtles, we all know.
I'm saying it doesn't have to be like that.
Okay, and Rambo, the likelihood of getting Todd on every week for a month, I don't know about that, but I know he'd want to do those, so maybe I could rope him into them too. Who knows? Maybe I could fucking really think outside of the box and get Randall to come on, because he loves fucking Rambo, man. So maybe the thing about Randall is he's overseas, so we'd have to record on a weekend early in the day like we did Cinema Anima. But maybe I could rope him into it as long as I like planned it out a few weeks in advance, because he usually needs that kind of notice. Maybe we could do it. It might be kind of fun. Anyway, and he just got on board with this because we just got what do we use again? What's it called? Stream what?
StreamYard.
Yeah. So we got StreamYard, and he's always been ghetto. When we did Cinema Anima, I was like, hey man, do you have a Discord, or do you have Skype? He's like, what are you talking about? I got my phone. Like, oh fuck. He's like, okay, he's gonna call on his phone, and it worked. But then I saw him do an interview about all the shit he's got going on, and he was using StreamYard. And he's like, yeah, man. He's like, I didn't know anything fucking about this technology. This guy sent me a link. I was like, well, we're using that now too. So now he's been doxxed. Like, well, now I know you can do it. You're not that much of a boomer. You did it for this guy. So next time he comes on, we already talked about it. He'll be video and be the whole thing, and it'll be in line. So it'll be cool. There's no reason. We can send you guys links, so anybody that comes on our show now can bend over to our methods. You know,
unless they just they're like, oh, I don't want to be on camera. Like,
look, man, no, that is look, Angus. If you want to come on our show, he's like, yeah, I just want to call it. Nick, no, sorry, Angus, it's our terms. You have to be on video. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. I don't give a shit. But can we? Is there a way we could do it to where if we have a guest on and they don't want to have a video, can we still have a third video and put like a dummy, like to represent them? Like
you can put like a picture for them. Yeah,
that would be funny. And all right. Anyway, Cinema Enema. I'm looking forward to reading those later because that was a lot of fun. What do we have here? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie. Redux. Maybe we should call them like Redux. Mendoza. I take this comments. I accept this comment. He says the first 3/4 of this commentary was really good.
What movie was it?
Okay. This is Mendoza. So the first 3/4, he's referring to, because I think he was listening to it live when we did it, because he's one of our patrons. And he was, because I had a diva moment when I found out the recording was kind of getting fucked up and I forgot to select something, whatever. I became a little bit of a diva. And I was in a bad mood, and I did, yeah. I feel bad about it because it actually turned out all right. It's not that big.
We found out what it wasn't. StreamYard's doing it. It was a different program. He had a fucking. Sometimes like these apps update, and then like it turns out it was Discord that fucking had it set that way.
So he said the first 3/4 of this commentary was really good. I kind of came back and said something cheeky. I just said, "Don't shortchange me." He's like, "It was 4/5 easily," and with a winky face because I get it. But at the same time, it really was. It wasn't the last quarter. It really was just like the last 10 minutes in the movie, last 20 minutes of commentary. But yeah, I kind of feel bad because it's like, but I listened to it, and I don't think the commentary suffered because I wasn't in that pissed. It didn't last that long, and I still went to talking about the movie again. I was just more pissed about it. I think it was still fine. But I refuse to apologize. I just do better. But anyway, it was still funny. But no, the thing is I'm fucking passionate about this, man, and I shouldn't be passionate about it because we don't make a fucking dime off this shit, but we love doing it. I've been doing it for 10, 11 years now, and it's like I get a little butthurt when things don't go right. And I care about the audio. I care about the presentation. I mean, this is why I think I got a little upset. Because I just got done dropping money on an annual subscription for this. And I had just paid for an annual subscription to another one we're not going to use. And then we have an old school fucking ghetto issue like the mic issue. Like, really? Really? Like, fuck. It's like, I was pissed. I was a little upset by it because I'm trying to put in effort and I want it to be as good as possible. And then, but it just goes to show simple fuck ups can still happen. Anyway, whatever. Still a good commentary. I feel like I have to have that diva moment on the other two turtles too, just to keep it consistent. I'll have to like get pissed off at something on purpose. And last comment I'm going to read is from the Bully Part 2 that we recorded. It got cut off. Sam Lombardo, I think he was talking in the chat, and this is like a follow-up to that. He says, my friend told me she was a disease. I was just following his lead so he'd stay friends with me. She was not an exchange student. Great stream, guys. Oh, because he was saying he picked on a Greek girl, and my friend told me she was a disease, and he was just kind of going along with his buddy. And okay, so it's one of those things.
His friend was probably just quoting fucking that line.
You're such a disease.
You're such a disease.
There you go.
And he didn't realize he was memeing, so then he started bullying a girl. that would suck.
Yeah. Anyway, a lot of fun, guys. Thank you guys for joining us for this one. I fucking got to keep making it a better habit of doing what they do on YouTube, man. We have to kind of play the algorithm game. At the start of the video, I need to keep reminding you guys, hey guys, take a second to drop a like and blah, 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 that bullshit. But I'll be better about that. But anyway, if you guys are seeing us on YouTube, watch the video format of this, please take a second to like the video. That's going to help us out immensely. And if you aren't already, please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment. It's all that stupid stuff that helps us get bumped up in the algorithm. Likewise, if you guys are listening to us on audio format, podcast formats, leave us a review, do all that stuff. Follow us on each one. Go to video, go to audio, whatever. I'm happy that we're doing this video now because it offers something different to the YouTube experience. But anyway, and if you guys want to support us any further, please check out our Patreon. We link it below wherever it is you're listening or watching us. $2 a month will get you perks. You get early access to all of our content. There is bonus content, exclusive episodes of Mac and Zach. Zach and I, this week, if I haven't even brought it up to Zach yet, but I was hoping Tuesday we should record more Ash vs. Evil Deads. We're doing Ash vs. Evil Dead. We're doing the whole series over there exclusive for Patreon. Yeah, there's Mac and Zach. What's the newest Mac and Zach exclusive up there?
Fucking Hackers.
Angelina Jolie. 90s classic with that haircut. And Riverman's got some exclusive Hobo with the Podcast episodes up there. We got some exclusive behind the scenes footage. We got prank calls that never got released because they went to shit. We got to do some more of those. I think we need to start adding to that. And a bunch of other shit. So, and let us know if you guys are supporters on there, what you guys want to see as far as extra content, and we'll do it. I think we just need a little push sometimes because our schedules are so full doing the regular shows. But, if somebody gives us a good idea, we'll set aside time to do it. Just like I said now, hey, we need to do an episode. We need to take a night to just do prank calls and see what we can get out of it. Could be fun. Yeah. And if you guys want to support us any further, we do have a Teespring. If you guys want to rock some swag, it supports us immensely. They always kick us back a healthy profit with those, and you get something physical out of it too. So it's pretty cool. We got designs for BTM, Mac and Zach Save the World. We've got Cinema Enema, and we got a lot of good designs up there. And the shirts are quality. I can attest to that. I own like 7 shirts myself. And
if you want to become famous on the internet, you can like buy a shirt, do a cum tribute on it, send us the picture, and we will use it for promotional art to fucking sell the shirt. If you can put it like blow your nut on it, wear it, and then take a picture of yourself wearing it like one of those models. And like if what if we're like the meme that like, every time they have a model wearing one of their shirts, they have cum on it. That's a big Chad move.
You can be like my little brother, Dr. Sleeves, man. I think I've told this story before. He, running late for school, man. He just grabbed a shirt off his bedroom floor, and I didn't know if it was clean or dirty, but it was on his bedroom floor. And he put it on. And when we got home from school, man, we didn't see each other. I saw him getting on the bus, and we saw each other when we reconvened on the bus and got home. And he was walking in front of me, and he had a fucking big crusty load all over this black t-shirt on the back, and he didn't even notice. My dad had fucking jerked off onto one of his shirts or fucking wiped his load up with it or something. And then for some reason, I can hardly slight. I think I probably gave my brother a hard time at the time. Like, dude, fucking put on a clean shirt. Like, well, look at what you're doing. But it's really my dad's fault.
He's literally a Siamese twin. But that is amazing. But
it's really my dad's fault because what kind of dad does that with their kid's shirt, but then puts it back to allow the opportunity for such confusion? Why not just throw it in the laundry, in the fucking washer immediately or something?
You know what's funny is I was guilty of taking a shirt out of the laundry and putting it on when I didn't have something to wear.
Fucking terrible. And I just have to wonder, man, like maybe the kids didn't get it because he was like in 6th grade or something like that. But what were the teachers thinking? What would you do if you were a teacher, you were teaching 5th grade, 6th graders, and one of your students, can I use the restroom? Yeah, sure. Here, take the hall pass. And as they're walking out, you see a big fucking crusty ass load smeared across the back of a black t-shirt. Like, what do you say? What do you say?
When I was going to school, they were putting kick me signs. Now they're fucking masturbating and throwing it on their backs.
Yeah. Anyway, that was a fun little detour. I gotta have we should have my brother on sometime to tell some of these fucking whack ass stories. But anyway, that's all we got, guys. Thank you guys for all the support, like I said. And check out all that links for all that stuff that we just mentioned. It's going to be below wherever you're listening or watching to us. And by all means, if you guys are brand new to the channel, we've been around for, I think, 11 years now, 10 years now. We've got shit tons of content between the Mac and Zach Save the World show, between the BTM commentaries, between Cinema Enema. It's different types of shows. I'm not even going to go into the spiel on what they all are at the moment, but have fun. Look around. We've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of backlog for you to enjoy, and different flavors depending on what you like. And we also have Exploited Cinema, hosted by Bat32, which is dedicated to all exploitation films if that tickles your fancy. Yeah, just tons and tons of shit. So have fun. Let us know what you like, and by all means, leave comments on all. I like seeing comments on all the old shit. It makes me happy. But that's all we got. Unless Zach has anything else he wants to promote or say.
Fucking Big Enterprises.
Oh yeah, bye puppets.
End of the week at the Revival House. Next month's theme, you gotta figure it out. Italian zombies or Pauly Shore, a slasher with a knife and the girl next door, and one second in, get it all queued up and ready, hit play in 3, 2, 1. Bye bye puppets, Zach Pete and a solo cut band. Couldn't this crew Cameron's loving, Josh and Scott failed and Riverman's babe. Bye bye puppets. Sounds good, like this country used to.
Revival House. 20 East now, y'all. That sounds like fire, like this country used to.